Alright, we are back again. No sound detected. Check your audio. That's weird. Probably no sound because I haven't actually said a word yet, and that's probably why. And I haven't said nothing because I'm getting ready for the fight. So bear with. That's nice. Alright, we are here for the Teofimo Lopez and Romero boxing match. Luke, appreciate you joining. It's a late one, or it's an early one, depending on where you're from. But it's a late one for me. I can't wait to catch people up with a stream again. We're back again. I did a stream earlier on. No rest, straight back for another stream. The Romero and Teofimo Lopez card. Victor versus Gary at the moment. If you're on YouTube, you will actually catch that I've got the tail of the tape on screen right now. TGB Promotions. Let me turn this up a little bit so we're live again. Alright, let's see how this pans out. There's only a couple more actual bouts till the main event, to be fair. Two more. I actually started streaming later than I said. I did say 2 a.m, but I was trying to sort out the stream and I was on the phone to one of my friends, so slightly late, but we're here. Appreciate the person on YouTube as well as TikTok. It's on screen now. So your tail of the tape, Victor's 31 years old, Gary's 33. 16-2 with 7 KOs for Victor. 5'6", 121.6 pounds, and it's a southpaw. And Gary, very similar, 33, 21-1, 13 KOs. So he does show he's a knockout artist. 5'7", so there's only an inch in it. As you can see the tail on tape on screen. 121 pounds, 0.2. What team do I support? I'm assuming you're talking about football, right? Or you're talking about boxing? Football, I'm assuming. I'm an Arsenal fan if you're talking about football. And Gary's a southpaw as well. But this is, did I have this? Oh, this is, yeah. This is the Romero vs Lopez boxing watch-along. But if you want to talk football, I'm an Arsenal fan. What about you? What team do you support? I'm live streaming on both TikTok as well as YouTube. William, I'm assuming from the likes on the post you support Arsenal, so shout you out if you do. But yeah, I'm live streaming on YouTube. Spurs, ooh, that's alright. Do you know what? You're welcome here. It's a boxing stream. You're welcome here. You're more than welcome here. It's fine. I won't give you no stick or banter. It's absolutely fine. But if you're watching on TikTok, that's cool. But if you're watching on YouTube, you'll get the full experience. So on YouTube right now, I've got the tail of the tape on screen. It's got PBC, it's obviously got my name, and it's also got the interim super bantamweight championship bout. I can't talk after today anyway. No, don't worry, no football banter, man. You're all good. YouTube is Monts Young, so it's exactly the same as the TikTok you're on now. Exact same name. Head over there, and you'll be able to catch up with some of the action. And I've got some text on screen, although that's for some reason not appeared. It is round 1 at the moment. Oh, that's why I've done that. Round. Sorry, give me a second. I'm editing it now. I'm editing it for the people now. So if you go onto my YouTube channel, you'll be able to see it right now, and it will have. The difference is basically you've got the round number, so I keep updating the rounds so you can stay up to date with the rounds. You can stay up to date with the title that they're fighting for or whatever about it is in terms of their weight class. So that will hopefully help if you are watching on my YouTube channel. If not, and you stay on TikTok, absolutely fine. But right now it's a super bantamweight fight. So let's see what happens. At the moment, Russell is getting off to a good start. Good jab. Southpaw. I always find Southpaws interesting to watch just because they've got a very unique style, and obviously their strong hand is a left-hander. So I always find people that are left-footed or left-handed quite interesting. Trying to work out their styles at the moment. Very cagey first round. Extremely cagey. And this is for an interim title, if anyone is interested. So, interim WBA Super Bantamweight titles on the line for this fight. Gary Russell's got good angles, to be fair. He's doubled up on his punches as well. Appreciate the people that join on TikTok. Like I've said, you won't be able to know, but if you are on my TikTok, go to the YouTube channel. Trust me, much more interactive experience just for you if you prefer it. But there's two more fight. Well, one more fight into the main event, I believe. Yeah. Santalian. There is, yeah. Hernandez is next, and after that you got Romero. And that is the one I'm sure people are joining for based on the name of the stream. Good first round. I think tough one to judge and score, really. Both men were doing different things that I think worked well for them. What I'm liking about Gary at the moment is his shot selection, going to the body, going to the head. And he's also following up on his shots. I think I've covered the Matchroom card not too long ago, a couple hours ago in fact, and that's what was the success in a lot of the fights. You know, you being able to double up on your shots, make sure you're throwing not just to the head, but you throw to the body as well, take the wind out of someone's sails. And if you keep attacking the body, as you might know if you watch a lot of boxing, the more you do that over time, the thing that's always going to happen is later on into the round, you just get more tired. Those shots do start to add up. But Gary Russell is looking very fresh for the second round. Have I got them? Appreciate the likes as well. Thank you for the likes. Appreciate them all. Ooh, that's a big shot. Russell, good right. Good combination from Russell to get out of the clinch. Right hand over the top. Then he went follow up with a hook. Yeah, man, I feel like Russell's got a lot of talent. Obviously, his brothers are talented as well. Bro, why are you texting my 10-year-old sister? She's too young for you to be. Oh, man, why do people come on here and comment silliness? All that's going to happen is I'm just going to mute you for the live. It's very, very, very pointless. You're wasting your time. Santialin. Don't try. Alright. Ah, there's always one. What a waste. People on TikTok are just so funny. So funny. But Gary Russell so far has come out quite strong. Ooh, very strong jab. Interesting. Some fighters don't like leading with the jab, although that's fundamental for a lot of boxing and for boxers in general. I think leading with the jab is extremely important, but a lot of boxers don't do it. A lot of boxers lead with a looping left hand or a left hook. I think the jab is such a fundamental punch that should just be adopted more, but a lot of fighters rely on their reflexes. It's interesting though. So for a big fight like Romero versus Teofimo Lopez, the stadium isn't that packed out, which I don't know if it will get busier as we get to the chief support, but the only two fights to the main event, usually by now the atmosphere is bubbling and loads of people engaged, so I find it a little bit interesting, but maybe the market behind it hasn't been that great. And speaking of which, my stream is now, that's weird, my stream's now frozen, so I can't actually tell you what's going on right now. There we go, it's just come back. And it's come back for them both in the clinch and the referee splitting them apart. Having trouble watching this video, learn more. That's weird. I'm sure the issue, nah, it's not my internet. Alright, I'm having problems with my stream at the moment. The zone keeps reloading. Santillan. Santillan's had a bit of success as well, you know, to be fair. What I've noticed is he is the aggressor in this fight. He is coming forward. He is using his front foot very well. When they are in the clinch, he is the one trying to push out the clinch and throw some shots. Right now, just landed a very good right hook to the body. But I don't know how well Santillan's going to be going into the later rounds, as it seems like Russell has been aiming to the body himself as well. Like I said, look, body shots are key, taking the wind out of someone's cell. So, ooh, they both landed a good right hand there. Santillan, for my scorecard, obviously I'm unofficial judge from ringside here, or should I say seat side. I'd say one apiece for me. I think that was a very good round for Santillan. I think he's shown the difference of being the aggressor, whereas the first round he wasn't really as aggressive and he was taking a lot more shots. He actually was pushing the pace and going forward and landing some very decisive shots, using his footwork very well. Again, they're both not really jabbing tremendously. It's more landing those looping right hands. That wasn't a jab, but fair enough. Yeah, it's kind of like that at the moment. It is very much, they're both landing shots that are quite effective at the same time. So I'm curious to see how this fight really pans out as we go into later rounds. So what round are we in now? I haven't been updating. Apologies. People need to call me out on the stream when I'm not updating the text. My bad. We're going to round 3, not round 1. I'll update that right now for you. Apologies. Skipped all round there. Yeah, so as you'll see on the screen, round 3 we're into now. So I've got it one apiece. Again, if you're joining me on TikTok or you're on TikTok watching now, I recommend heading over to my YouTube channel, because you will have the interim WBA Super Bantamweight Championship, which will keep reminding you of what they're fighting for, and you'll also have the round now that I'll be keeping an eye on it properly to make sure that's updated. So hopefully you don't miss any of the upcoming action. But if you just want to stay on TikTok because it's convenient, look, by all means, however you want to watch the stream, as long as you're here is the main thing for me. So I appreciate people joining. Yeah, a lot of clinching in this fight so far. The referee just had a word of them both saying, you know, just fight. It is a championship fight at the end of the day, so you want to see a bit more action. But we're not seeing too much at the moment, and I think that's probably going to be the issue. Again, the stadium isn't really filled out that much anyway, so the fans that are here watching this action probably won't be too impressed with a championship fight being done by just hugging a lot of clinching. Seems like Santillan is trying to, again, I mentioned it before, push the pace. I said it in the last round. He is leading with a left hook for a lot of this fight, and he's landing. But I think as soon as he lands, it seems like Russell ties him up, all the other way around. Russell lands and then Santillan ties him up, and they're both just basically hugging, gone into the ropes now. Referee's called time. He's gonna have a word with them both. He's saying no more hugging. Basically, it is frustrating for probably them, and also frustrating for the fans as well. As you can hear some boos echoing throughout the arena, which doesn't surprise me. And they've just got into a very good exchange just now. Santillan was moaning about something there, and he just got clipped while he was complaining. They always say keep your hands up at all times when you're in the ring, and that's definitely the truth. But yeah, one apiece still. This round's been hard to judge. I wouldn't have a decisive winner for this round because there's not really been much happening other than a lot of clinching. So for the third round for me, I don't really know how to score this round, to be honest with you. I'd be hesitant to be a judge at this point. But I've definitely got it one apiece. Say Santillan's probably landing the more powerful shots at the moment, like with the good little exchange there against the ropes. Santillan's landing a stronger shot, but I would say the shots that seem to be just punch. Sorry, I'm getting my words muddled up there. The punch volume is definitely coming from Russell, but the strength and the snappy and the sharpness in the punches is being landed by Santillan. So I think that's going to be a key factor going forward for the rest of this game, rest of this fight. But speaking of which, we are now into the fourth round, which I'll make sure to update now for you all, so you can see that on your screen. Again, people on TikTok, appreciate you joining, but trust me, you have a much better experience being on YouTube, so make sure you head over there. The name is exactly the same, Watchalong, and you'll be able to see interim WBA Super Bantamweight Championship is on the line, and not just that, but the name of who's fighting. So Santillan. Oh, I just realized something. I realized a little error. But Santillan versus Russell, which I just realized. I've got that done based on the old fight, annoyingly. I've noticed that as well. Ooh, good shots by Santillan. Good overhand right. Just caught Russell as was leaning in. So far, give me a second. I just realised I made a little mistake then, which will be rectified in all of 2 seconds. Apologies, people. Schoolboy error from my part. It will change in about 2 ticks. I just realised I had the wrong surname up on the stream. So if you're on YouTube, you will be able to see this. Give me a sec. Boom. Okay. And then there you go. So now, if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see the actual name, Santillan versus Russell. Apologies for that silly mistake on my part. No sleep, but that's not the problem. Anyway, round 4 we're in now. And Santillan, again, referee still called another timeout. They've just been clinching this whole fight. I don't think this has been a great fight to watch, to be honest with you. Ref said to them twice now, no more, and they've just been clinching. So I don't think it's looking that great as a fight. Yeah, even as a fan watching this is tough because, you know, Russell's trying to be a counterpuncher at this point. He was pressuring at the start, first round. Then he started receiving a lot of the damage from Santillan, but now it just seems to be Santillan will come in and he's doing the same thing now. So he's in that southpaw stance. He's landing a jab or he's landing a hook, and instantly, as soon as the hook's landed, they're both going for a clinch, and then they can seem to be hugging. Then the referee tries to break them up, but they both now actually just landed some very good hooks to the body, both of them at the same time. So we're finally seeing hands go, as I think referee will deduct points if they continue to be clinching, which they've just started doing again. So not the most entertaining for the fans, so I apologise for that. But nevertheless, you're here, we're here, we'll get through this. It's obviously awkward because I think they're both fighting out of Southpaw at the moment. So they've got similar head feints, similar jabs. It's a tough one. And you can hear the coach tell him now, if you're not going to punch, he's going to have the advantage. They're saying it to Santillan at the moment, and I think it's clear that Santillan isn't really letting his hands go at all. But to be fair, neither is Russell. Russell seems to be more of the counter puncher at the moment. And if punches aren't being thrown and you're a counter puncher, it just means nothing's being thrown at all. And when wild shots are being thrown, they just keep going in for the clinch. Who's that? The doctor? There's an extra person in the corner there for Santillan's side. I don't know who that is. If you are watching, which I hope you are, watching yourself and obviously just listening to me for comms, then you'll know this is live and exclusively on DAZN. If you're not watching, this is your place to watch it live and exclusively on DAZN. If you use Montel20 at checkout right now, you will be eligible for a discount of 20% for this pay-per-view. And I'll give you a little code in advance. If you use Montel10 today for the pay-per-view, which is going on next week, which is Moses Tama versus Philip Hergovich, you will save 10%. So it's your perfect time to sign up to DAZN. I do have to say it, I work with DAZN, so it's only right that I push the product. And it just makes sense. Like, look, you know, you're getting 12 pay-per-views minimum so that's at least one a month, which you realistically get more for, to be honest with you. And you have fights every single Saturday of the year. You're guaranteed a fight, which is included in your pay-per-view subscription, on top of top tier, which happens on a Sunday. So there's loads of boxing you're never going to miss out on, all for one simple price that's discounted right now. So I recommend getting your DAZN subscription. However, I'm a realist and I understand not everyone wants to pay for a subscription. If people want to watch the fight, I can't show the footage, so I'm just letting people that know that now. But if someone happens to drop a link for the stream in the chat, I will never be opposed to the link being dropped in the stream. You will not get penalized for it. You won't get blocked or muted. Just help someone out if you can, and if not, just enjoy the comms. But we are into the 5th round at the moment. It's hard to score this fight really because there's not been too much happening. I had it around a piece from round 1 and 2. 3rd round again. So yeah, I had it around the piece, 1st and 2nd round. 3rd round probably swaying towards Santillan due to aggression. 4th round just gone. It's hard to tell really. There's not been much happening other than the ref coming between them both. Right now they're in the clinch again. Although Russell is finally punching out of the clinch, which makes this a bit better. He is punching out the clinch very well now. He's effective with 2 hooks to the body and then 1 up top. So he's tripling up on his punches now, which makes it slightly more interesting. But Russell appears like he wants to be the counter puncher in this fight. Santillan is definitely the aggressor, but he is not throwing punches back at all, really. So he's stepping forward and not throwing any punches, which means he's just susceptible to be pot-shotted at this point. So I think he will just start to lose rounds and he'll slip away if he's not throwing punches back. Saying that, good shots landed by Santillan, very good right hook. And that's what I said, they're exclusively throwing power punches to land now. They're not actually throwing jabs, which I find quite interesting. But people are joining from the States, because you probably are. I appreciate it. If people are joining from the UK, look, you probably stayed up with me for the Matchroom stream, and we're going back to back. So again, I appreciate you. But yeah, going into this round, I'll probably say, oh, he's got a little cut in his eye though. So I was actually going to say who I think is most likely going to be up here is Russell, but he does have a cut on his left eye, so something to keep in mind. It's just on the hairline of the eyebrow right there, so I think it's not going to be too much of a problem. Looks like it's on the corner, so it won't drip into his eye too much, but again, it's something to factor in and be aware of as the fight progresses. into round number 6, which will be updated on your YouTube screen in the next second. And there you go. Heading into round 6. Again, sorry for people that keep hearing this, but I've had to keep doing it every single stream. If you are watching on TikTok, you're only getting half the experience purely based on the fact that I can't overlay some of this stuff on TikTok based on the rules and regulations that TikTok provides. Unfortunately, if I show the overlays, for example, the score, not the score, the round, the names, stuff like that, I will get penalized for it. But if you jump over to my YouTube channel, free of charge, of course, you'll capture it all there and it's more interactive. My YouTube chat can confirm. Okay, interesting. So it's a shout out for Russell on Chris Mannix's card. I don't have it the same as that, to be honest with you. I did have a round apiece. I kind of, for me, you could give it either way. I think 5 rounds obviously we're scoring here. I could have said 2 rounds to 3 maybe. Could have had it 2 apiece or had it 3 to 2 for Russell. I think he's landed the cleaner shots for sure, but he is counter punching a lot more. The pace has been initiated by Santillan, and obviously the aggression is as well, but we just don't know how the judges score it. Judges score things based on so many different metrics. It's not just punches landed. It is sometimes you want to see the more aggressive and the more active fighter, and that has been Santillan for a lot of this fight. But Russell at the moment, it's just a scrappy fight. Ref stopped it again. Such a scrappy fight to watch. Hopefully things pick up. And if you're watching me tonight, I appreciate it because you will be getting a live stream again next Saturday. I basically live stream every single day, but if you're looking for particularly just boxing streams, I'm live streaming again next Saturday at Mosertown versus Filip Hrgovic. I will be live streaming that boxing also. Both men got a very solid jab now. They finally started utilising it in the 6th round, so hopefully that does play a factor. Again, for a reminder, this is for the interim WBA Super Bantamweight title, so there is something on the line that needs to be factored in here. This hasn't been the most fun fight, but I do think Gary Russell at the moment is kind of in the lead, although Santillan is having a much better round. But we are here for Rolly Romero and Teofimo Lopez. Let's not forget that. That will be coming up in 2 fights time if you just joined. We are 2 fights away. Chief support next, and then we will be going straight in to the main event, which I am so excited for, I must say. I appreciate anyone that shares the live, comments, likes the live. It all does help push things through the algorithm. So please keep the engagement coming as we look to build this platform and then hopefully start working with broadcasters like DAZN in different capacities where I'm able to share the stream with you. But for this 6th round, I would say it's a Santillan round, and I know they're saying this is his first round that he's won. I'd say he's arguably won 2 or even 3. I'd give him 2 rounds though for sure. However, you know, I'm only a couch judge at the moment. That's what I'm looking for. But I think there's been a few decent shots in this fight. Showing the replay now just before my stream keeps cutting out, by the way, and that's not normal because I was streaming Matchroom's card a couple hours ago and it was fine. But yeah, they need to find a way of working out of the clinch. The problem at the moment is they're in the clinch and they're not trying to work out the clinch, which is why the referee keeps getting involved. And when the referee's involved, then it just makes the fight kind of ugly to watch, to be honest with you. Appreciate the people joining on TikTok. Thank you so much. Oh, Santillan landed some very good. Santillan landed a good jab, and then he just got caught with a flurry of hooks then from Russell and uppercut. So a mixture of punches. One thing that Russell's doing well, especially this round, is he is changing the height and the angles that the shots are coming from. So he's going to the body, he's going up top, he's moving around, he's pivoting. off his strongest foot, and he's able to create these openings where he's really been able to be as sharp as he needs to be. And I think that's going to be the thing that will be a difference maker, despite the cut on the eye. And despite them both not really throwing a jab as the lead punch, I think it's still very effective what's going on at the moment. Appreciate the people joining. If you are just joined on TikTok especially, this is the Santian and Russell fight, which is 2 fights away from the main event. Jab Journal, my brother, appreciate you as well. Come on, man. I thought you'd be live streaming this. I thought this would be a bit of you. Brother. I appreciate you joining, man. I was supposed to be. To be fair, I wasn't going to, but I thought we gotta get it done. I really am excited to obviously stream the main event more than anything else. This fight hasn't really lived up to the hype for me, if I'm being honest. This one's been a bit of a struggle. Sorry for the people on YouTube, I'm just interacting with one of my guys who's on TikTok supporting the stream. Nah, fair enough, man. Jam-packed schedule. I hear it, brother. I hear it. But for me, this fight so far, 7 rounds in, look, Gary Russell for me has got getting the job done. And I just didn't even update this. Bad habit. There we go. Updated the YouTube stream. But yeah, for me at the moment, Santian just seems a step slow. He's landing a few shots here and there. Do you know what? I barely caught that fight. I was on the phone to Spen, funny enough, Jab. So I didn't really actually watch the fight. I kind of had it on in the background. I barely saw it. I didn't really see much of it. Yeah, no, I can't comment on it. I didn't see it. I want to watch it back though, probably. I'll watch some of this back in the morning, just based on the fact that I am a little bit tired watching it now. But I did see some of the comments saying robbery when I saw it get posted. But this fight ain't really been great, to be fair. Is Teofimo Lopez here finally? Teo is here finally. He probably got here about 20 minutes ago, but he's finally here. Romero got there extremely early tonight. Yeah, it's considering the main event, I expected a slightly more stacked undercard, is what I will say. Because look, the main event is obviously most people's attraction, right? But this whole card hasn't had how banging names on it, for me to be honest. Yeah, he is next. I'm excited to see that myself, to be honest. But I don't know how you got this fight. How you scoring this fight? This fight for me, I would say Gary Russell's winning, but it's not. It's been a very messy fight. At the moment, he's been the counter puncher, but he has initiated. Yeah, I saw that. Of course he doesn't, but it's a shot at greatness, right? And sometimes what you need. Sorry for the YouTube look, we are talking on TikTok as well. I'm multi-streaming tonight again. It's the second multi-stream in a couple hours, to be fair. Just streamed the Matchroom cards, it's probably about 4 hours ago. At the moment, Santian is applying a bit of pressure. Russell, in my opinion, though, is just a level above, landing pretty much with ease, despite being a counter puncher. 70-63. I think that scorecard is kind of abysmal. I did give Santian 2 rounds at least going into... Whoops! I did it again and no one has told me in the chat. People, I'm a round behind on YouTube. Yeah, it's a nice arena, but it's kind of empty. Considering considering the fight that's up next, well, the fights is 2 fights away. By now, you got to think like if you're in a stadium, this is pretty much packed out. So T-Mobile Arena is a very nice place, man. I do like the setup, I like the aesthetic, but unless people are gonna come swarming in between the chief support and the main event, this card is not bringing a lot of bums on seats, which is what you want. No, I haven't. I'm hoping to though, man. September 12th. No, I'm joking. It's a bit too soon. But next Zuffa show in Vegas. I'm there, man. Me and you'll be there. We'll be jabbing in Vegas. Have you, by the way? But if you're watching at the moment, shut up performance from Russell, in my opinion. I do have 2 rounds of Santiago. I think they're being a bit harsh on Chris Mannix's scorecard, especially. But a lot of this fight has been a case of back of the head shots, referee breaking them up for clinches. It's not been a fun watch. Just now, like again, refs stepped in the middle. Bear in mind, this is a championship fight. Yeah, Garcia Ben. That's why I said September 12th. I was only joking. But Garcia Ben, my thoughts on that, just as a side topic. I think we spoke about this before anyway. I think Ryan Garcia is penned to be the favourite by a lot of people, but I do believe Conor Ben does have a good chance. Like, based on Conor Ben's attributes and the fact he's an extremely aggressive fighter, and he'll constantly put the pressure on Ryan Garcia, who doesn't necessarily like absorbing that kind of pressure. And if he can't land that left hook, I do think his arsenal isn't the same. Although he's learned to triple up and double up his left hook. My issue is the weight cut. Agreed. Same here. So, very similar to you. My issue with that fight is the weight cut for Conor Ben. Obviously, he hasn't really stopped it. Well, obviously, he hasn't stopped anyone since, obviously, whatever happened. And he's walking around at a much heavier weight. He says he walks around about 165, 170, I think he said. Roughly about that. And obviously, he's cutting down to 147. To try and maintain that same speed, power, velocity, and also punch resistance, which I think will be difficult for him to do at 147. So I think Garcia has the advantage, but Ben could potentially be a weight bully. You want? That's the first time I would have seen that. How come you want Ben to win? I'm a little bit shocked to see that, to be honest with you. But in my opinion, so far, again, despite the commentators being relatively favourable to Gary Russell, don't get me wrong, he has been winning the fight, but I don't think it's been extremely shut out like that. I think there's been a bit of success that's been had. We're in round 9 now, so if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see I'm updating the rounds regularly. But how come, Jab, you want Conor Ben to beat Ryan Garcia? That is a big statement, mate. It's weird though. So this fight's weird for me because Santiago is the man that is walking forward. He's basically controlling the centre of the ring. He's backing Russell up, but Russell's doing very well off the back foot, counter punching. He's done a few pull counters that have been quite impressive as well to see. But let's look at jabs landed. There's been 17 to 45. They actually got rid of that quite quickly. Can't stand both. No, I understand it, man. I understand it. A lot of people feel very similar to you, especially about Conor Ben. What's the hit Ben is actually Kind of, yeah. Kind of. I think what it is how they appear. Like, obviously, like, boxing is all about, it's a spectacle, it's an experience, it's about the flamboyance, the entertainment side of things. So sometimes you create this character of yourself that becomes an unnecessary evil, in my opinion, that they think is a necessary evil. Like, he tries to play the bad guy, tries to play the villain at times, and he then lost to Chris Eubank Jr. the first time. Redemption, yes, the second time. But since then, he's tried to still play on that character, I think, a bit much for me. If I'm being honest. This is referring to Conor Ben. But yeah, I do think Gary Russell's getting the job done so far. 9 rounds in. Appreciate you, Mo. Right, Mo, I didn't think you'd be joining this one. Damn. That's support for real. Appreciate you, man. But look, don't get me wrong. I think Conor Ben's he's improved. He's improved his character in the public eye a lot more. Especially the launch press conference with Ryan Garcia was brilliant because you saw Conor Ben speaking Spanish fluently, and obviously you'd expect Ryan Garcia to know Spanish. So little things like that go a long way, especially with the fans. But overall, I just think he hasn't done enough, and he still plays that villain role a bit too much, in my opinion. Yeah, sleep schedule all over the place, man. Nah, listen, I appreciate you joining regardless. So thank you for tuning in. Right now, we got more boxing on. I'm really here for the main event. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend. But obviously, you gotta go through the motions, and I'm currently going through the motions right now. So we're 2 fights away. Gary Russell right now is facing Santillan, and I think Russell, for me, is winning majority of the rounds, cleaner shots, more accurate shots, and just good head movement overall. But he is getting caught. He's not punching perfect. He is getting caught for sure. But yeah, sleep schedule's a bit of a crazy one. I've got an event to go to at like we're at 3 a.m. This might finish at like 5. I've got an event to go to at like 10, if not before, which is going to be a bit mad. So yeah, the same event I was talking about before for the love of fantasy and sci-fi. I forgot what it was then. I actually saw John Cena today. That was pretty cool. Gonna have some content coming up about that as well. Separate side note, but that was a pretty cool experience. We're in round 10 of this fight, so let me update this. The fans are booing. I think the fans have kind of had a bit of enough. Yeah, today was good, you know. As a bit of a side note, because this fight is not what I expected. No, it was good. It was good. It was a very nice experience. Saw quite a few actors down there. It was good to see John Cena as well. To be fair, he is obviously a role model for a lot of people, so it was good to see him. He's not there tomorrow, but there's some other actors and stuff like that from different TV shows back again tomorrow, Game of Thrones and whatnot. So I'm heading back up there to the XL London tomorrow. So if you're around and you're going to an event, shout me. I'm there. I might be doing some content interviews and stuff like that with some of the actors. So again, that's always nice to interact with them on a personal level and get to know them, which I can then share with people. So that's pretty fun. But what can I say? Better than what I'm watching at the moment, which seems like a very one-sided affair with Gary Russell just punch perfect almost the last 2 to 3 rounds. But thanks for asking, Mo. Appreciate it. Santillan just needs to do more, man. I feel like he's just... I don't want to say he's chasing ghosts, but... I never want to be rude about a fighter, but he doesn't seem to just be getting anywhere near where he should be against Gary Russell. He's landing a couple shots here and there, but nothing noteworthy. The big power punches and the combinations are being landed by Russell. And then they throw literally like 3 or 4 punches and they go into a clinch. So there's not a lot to discuss, which is making it frustrating for me, the viewer, trying to give you the best engaging piece of content and I watch along if they're not actually engaged in the fight themselves. So round 10, last 30 seconds, Gary Russell for me has been shutting this fight out. I had 2 rounds of Santillan myself, and the rest of it's been absolute cruise control for Gary Russell. Taking a few shots here and there, but overall started to utilise his jab a bit more, using his footwork a lot more. Right now he's controlling the centre of the ring. He's dodging punches and he just landed 5 in succession there. Good hooks to the body, good uppercuts to the body, went upstairs, and then before long the referee's now called time. So yeah, heading into the 11th round, and I don't know how to assess this fight other than to say it's been a shutout, one-sided performance as of late. So that's what we're looking at. But yeah, today was good, Mo. Today was good, man. Thank you for asking, sir. I am tired though. I was meant to nap between streams. I didn't get a chance to. Yeah, so tomorrow, well, Today, I'm hoping when I go back there, I get some content that I'll be able to share with people, like some interviews with some of the actors. Then I'll be doing my usual. I might do a football stream tomorrow evening, maybe. Depends who's playing, if anyone is playing. Then obviously Monday to Thursday, I'll be doing my usual gaming streams. Next week, Friday, I don't think I'm doing anything spectacular. Then Saturday, I'll be live at the venue in the O2 watching Moses Tama versus Filip Hrgovic. So I will try and bring a stream to people in person where I'm in the atmosphere, I'm engulfed in it, I'm immersed in it. I'm trying to bring you the live commentary from the venue. And then that Sunday, I'll be at AEW Wrestling. So again, loads of content coming. So if you're not following, please hit the follow button. Like, subscribe, yada yada yada, share, because it all supports the events that I go to and bringing you more engaging content. But speaking of which, we've just kicked off round 11. And it's more of the same. Santillan walking forward and getting caught coming in. Wow, 100 to 90 on Chris Mannix's scorecard. That's insane. That is insane. I can't believe Santillan wasn't given at least a round. I've given him 2 rounds, to be fair. I have indeed given him 2 rounds. What's time now? 3 in the morning. So I'm suspecting with 2 more fights left. It's about a 5 a.m. job, innit? It's really about a 5 a.m. job. Well, if you stay on until 5 a.m., damn, and I respect it. But you might need to get some sleep, brother. Tomorrow's video on Brighton. See 2 o'clock on Newcastle, Liverpool. So looking at tomorrow's streams, City and Bournemouth at 2. I might watch that one, you know. I'll probably be at the venue that I need to be at, but I'll probably watch that one. Because I think Game of Thrones are doing a panel at 2 o'clock. Very separate. So I probably will actually watch that. But we'll see. Depends what time this finishes. I'm hoping there's a knockout and a chief support which can just push me up into the main event. But I don't know if I'm going to get that lucky at the moment. Because this fight hasn't been spectacular. It's been a good fight, don't get me wrong. It's what I expected. Gary Russell to kind of control the fight pretty much, even off the back foot. Landed a lot of shots from a counter puncher's angle. He has got a cut on his eye, but it seems to have closed up now. Team done a great job of healing that up. And other than that, it's been pretty much cruise control. Like this round's barely been any punches thrown. Santillan's trying, he's lunging in now. He's probably getting a little bit desperate. Get into those. We're in the championship rounds now, and they are fighting for a belt. Are you going to show the fight? I can't. Thanks, Mo. Appreciate you, sir. I can't. Not yet. The plan is to continue developing these streams, to continue doing more of these streams, continue getting more support, and then eventually showing the fights. But I unfortunately cannot show them now. So I appreciate you for tuning in, but it's just going to be for the comms. But thank you, Mo, for answering that one. Although, whoops, my phone is going off behind me, so I wonder what that is. People up at 3 in the morning, that's crazy. Alright, it is indeed the last round of the fights. Let me update the round. If you're watching on YouTube, you are getting the live updates in terms of the rounds. So I've got a little round notification there. It says Santillan, says Russell's name. It says interim WBA super bantamweight title above me. On TikTok, I can't show this stuff because I just get restricted. So head over to my YouTube channel if you can. If not, just stick around on TikTok and hope you enjoy what you're seeing. But so far for me, I've given 2 rounds to Santillan, been quite generous with that, and it's pretty much a shutout performance in this sense for Gary Russell. But they will touch gloves for the final round. I'm hoping for at least a bit more action for the final round. It's been very timid. Oh, I said timid, and there was a knockdown in the first punch of the round, and the knockdown goes to Russell, who actually landed a phenomenal shot. As I said, I wanted to see a bit more action. We've just finally seen our first knockdown of the fight, and it has come in the 12th round. And now Gary Russell is just throwing absolute bombs trying to get him out of there. Santian has got him wrapped up completely, literally cuddled him at this point for the referee just to intervene at the last second. Santian is trying to wrap up for the whole of this round. It looks like Russell's landing some very good left hooks. But it's the first, like they said, the first time he's ever been down, and it was a very good shot that landed to get him down. Oh, I can see Santiago getting hit here with a very lethal shot very soon. But look, this is going to put a cherry on top of a fantastic cake for Gary Russell should he continue at this pace for the remaining 2 minutes of the fight. And it's been the most action we've had for the fight, I must say, because there's been a beautiful knockdown that Gary Russell's been delivering to the fans. Ooh. Right now, again, Gary Russell landed some good shots, good 3-punch combinations. He's landed another 2 just then as well. Appreciate the likes, thank you. On TikTok, appreciate the people that are on my YouTube as well. Shout you all out. Staying with me, UK time, it is 3 AM. So if you're not from the UK, this is madness. So if you are from the UK, this is madness, should I say. But I think Russell's probably going to get this one done. You'll see this out now. Last minute remaining. He was going for the knockout, but I think he'll probably just go for the points win at the moment. But yeah, I gave him 2 rounds and I don't think they'll even matter. They won't even matter at this point. Appreciate the people flying through on YouTube. That helps. The crowd want a knockout because the fight has been a bit timid up until now. So hopefully the last 20 seconds give us a little bit more of what we saw in the first second of this round, which was a knockdown. And yeah, T-Mobile Arena is a very nice arena, but it's still not packed out. It's still quite quiet in there, considering we're only 2 fights away from the main event, which I find phenomenal. So yeah, I'd pretty much agree with that at this point. I gave 2 rounds to Santillan. Fight's over with now. What is this? Welcome live chat. Remember card your prize. I had a weird message just pop up on my YouTube then. But that is the end of that fight. For me, I've got Russell the clear winner. Clear winner. I think anything other than an absolute dominant unanimous decision scorecard would be a robbery, in my opinion. Especially with the knockdown at the end of the 12th round. And I think that was the shot. As soon as the bell rang, he landed a right hook straight at the top of the temple. And that shook Santillan completely. His equilibrium went. His back foot went beneath him. And he landed straight. Good thing he managed to stay up after that. And he managed to see himself through the 12th round. But wasn't the most interesting fight? No. However, we did see a lot more from Gary Russell. And we saw some of his technique and his ability, especially being a counter puncher and punching off the back foot. So, in my opinion, the job's done. But we'll wait and see what happens. But my opinion is definitely the job's done. Appreciate the people that are tuning into the stream as well, especially on TikTok and on YouTube, of course. Thank you. And we are 2 fights away from the main event, which is what I'm looking forward to most. So, roll on the time. Roll on the time. What's happening on Halloween? Oh, Canelo. Do you know one thing I'm going to say, yeah? So, sort of off topic, I suppose. But Canelo, it's good to see Canelo still active. I mean, he's been fighting what seems like forever now. Like, I remember when he fought against Floyd Mayweather. And that was an absolute schooling masterclass. It was borderline embarrassing there. I thought to myself, damn, how good is Canelo really going to be? And then He came up and he just done something unbelievable as a Mexican. He's a great talent, phenomenal fighter, and he's still competing at the top level where they call him the face of boxing still. I don't know about that, but I think he is still obviously extremely relevant. People are still going to watch all of his fights. They've just announced it, by the way. Gary Russell is the winner, and he is the interim WBA super bantamweight champion at the moment. And he just secured that dub, so big up him. Round of applause for what he done there. But back to what I was saying, I do think to myself, like, Canelo being around for as long as he has been and showing the sport as much dedication and passion as he has done, second to none really. Canelo is a star act. But Gary Russell there, all smiles, all happy. Well, he ain't smiling, but his team are smiling around him. And he got the job done. Barely breathing hard, got a bit of bruises and redness, but he got the job done at the end of the day. And now we go on to the chief support, which I am looking forward to, because that means we are only one fight away from Rolly Romero and Teofimo Lopez. So going back to the running order very, very quickly. This is the running order. I didn't cover the first fight. I covered this fight just now. Alexis Hernandez versus Veron. And that is just a middleweight contest, which is going to be great chief support. And then we have the main event that will be taking the cake. If you're following me or watching through YouTube, you can see the running order right here on my screen. If you're on TikTok, you just have to listen to me and let me tell you. So, Rolly Romero and Teofimo Lopez, WBA welterweight world titles on the line for that fight. Huge title, huge fight. Chief support coming up next. Hernandez and Veron for them is a middleweight clash. And obviously we have just had the interim WBA super bantamweight champion crowned, who is Gary Russell. So brilliant fight there. And a good night of boxing ahead. Although I did join this late, so I only joined during that fight just now. And I'm hoping the chief support in the main event are a lot more impactful than that has been. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. I actually do have people up on Instagram messaging me, and that's a reminder of what I was going to say before. If you're not following me on Instagram, that is where I'm pretty much at full time, so you're missing out on a lot of content, as I'll be keeping you up to date with live streams, timings, what I'm doing, and just general content overall. So make sure you hit the follow button on the Instagram. It is Watchalong, the same as all my other platforms. And if you're not on YouTube, give a check out to the YouTube, because you can currently see the running order right now on your screen, which I think looks very, very good, if I do say so myself. But that is a Team Russell strap secured, and that is the interim belt secured, which I think was always on the cards when he got into the ring and he got into flow state. Right now he's just going through the fans, taking some pictures, and overall I think it was a good performance. I think Santillan having his first knockdown wasn't great, but he seemed to have got through to see all 12 rounds. I'm very excited for this main event though. I'm surprised, like I keep repeating, that the stadium or the arena isn't as full as it should be, given the type of fight it is and the scale of fight it is. But I don't think the marketing for this fight, actually, can I question the marketing? I just think maybe the card overall wasn't as appealing. I don't think the marketing's been too bad, now that I think about it. Very nice seeing Malik and Kate Scott sharing comms, sharing that position, and bouncing off each other so well. They actually got very good chemistry on camera as well. I know the relationship, but it can be sometimes different. But they got good chemistry on camera. It's good to see them on there. And I like Malik Scott's analytical mind when he breaks down fighting. If you don't follow him or you don't watch him, I recommend checking out his Instagram, where he will break down and analyze fights and give you his insights into, just from a coach's perspective, as someone that's been there, shared the ring with many fighters, and can break it down for you. Yeah, so this is a big fight coming up next. A nice middleweight oh, I've actually got the name spot on. Middleweight contest coming up next, and this is the chief support, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Although he just said coming up next, so I don't know if it is the chief support, but I'm sure. Give me a second. I don't want to misquote you. People that are watching on my stream now. PBC Premier Boxing. From what I can see, I just want to get the running order right. 1 second. Tailor the tapes. This does look like the chief support for me, yeah. I think the main event is on after this. It looks like. Yeah. It's hard to tell because they've not posted an order. But Teofimo Lopez is getting his hand wrapped. That was a minute ago. So if you are on Instagram, check him out now. That is on the Premier Boxing page. Teofimo Lopez is getting his hands wrapped, so that he will be very close to completion after this fight. For that main event to come out next, which we're all excited for, and that's obviously why people have joined the stream based on the name, which I've made it very clear this is what it's about. It is about Rolly Romero and Teofimo Lopez. Who am I swaying towards? My mind has been changed a few times lead up into this fight. I'm swaying towards Rolly Romero now, though. I think Teofimo Lopez is a fantastic boxer, but there's something about Rolly Romero that I believe in at the moment. I think he's bringing something different to himself. So I'm swaying towards Rolly Romero. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below of who you think will win that main event that will be coming up very, very soon. What are your thoughts, chat? Joined from my post. Appreciate that. Have I done any posts? Never mind. But yeah, this fight's coming up. And then next week, I mentioned again, Filip Hrgovic and Moses Atama. How good is Moses Atama? How good can he be? Is he really the truth? Is it the young fire that beats the old flame? Or will we see one last roar in Filip Hrgovic to reclaim himself amongst the top echelon of heavyweight boxers? So that would be good to see. I'll be there live next weekend, next Saturday the 29th. So that is only 7 days away. Or 6 because it's a Sunday today. But I appreciate the people joining on TikTok. Thank you for that. Appreciate the likes in the chat. I recommend if you're on TikTok, heading over to my YouTube channel instead, just because you're going to get much more of an immersive experience. Right now I've got the running order on the screen so you can see how many fights you've got left, which I think there's only 2. You're also going to get a tail of the tape when they come out to the ring, and I make sure that I update the rounds so you can see each round that we're in, who's in what corner, red corner, blue corner. Makes the experience a bit more immersive. But if you have just caught up, then I will let you know that Gary Russell is your new interim WBA Super Bantamweight Champion. And that has happened very, very soon. Canelo. What do people think about that, by the way? If anyone wants to interact and talk about that, what do people think about Canelo versus Crawford? I think it's easy to say. Obviously, look, I got receipts for everything I say, especially when it comes to boxing. I was never in doubt about Canelo losing and not being good enough to beat Bud. I think Bud's been phenomenal, but it goes to that adage of marketing for boxers. So I'm just watching what Tyson Fury is saying about AJ. I'll give my take on that in a second, by the way. Interesting. Interesting. So I kept quiet on purpose just to see what that was all about. I think, look, I'm gonna talk about this because I don't know if I've got American viewers right now. If I do, bear with. For me, I understand both sides of the fence. You know, being from England, I understand how big of a fight it is for Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury to fight in the UK. I understand it completely, and I think it should happen in the UK soil. I feel like it should have happened 5, 10 years ago. I'm going to be honest with you, and that's probably when it should have happened in the UK. Obviously, there's talks of if it happens in the UK, it's not happening until 3, 4 a.m. Now, I don't think that's right. I don't think we should be fighting 3, 4 in the morning. Sorry, I don't think we should be watching 3, 4 in the morning for a British fight if it's happening in the UK. Now, the flip side of it, I understand the business side of things as well because I won't say I'm quite deep into the boxing ecosystem, but I kind of am. So I get it. Like, you can, for example, be a millionaire in America in one state and never be known in any other state. I understand the money and the amount of money that will circulate for that fight and how they package that fight in America will be completely different. We might sell 100,000 tickets at Wembley, which could not even read the capacity. Let's say 90,000. America, I understand, also would turn it into a spectacle. They do it around leading up into, for example, Road to WrestleMania or some other big sporting event going up until the fight. So I get it. I'm just round spreading positivity. Just want to say, love your beard and stuff, man. I appreciate you joining and saying that, man. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. Thank you for the positivity. I do appreciate that. Welcome to join the streams anytime. So thank you. And I appreciate the likes as well. Thank you a lot. And the follow. Love it all. Appreciate all of that, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. I think for me, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, if it happens in America, I understand it. The money side of things, they generate way more money. They turn it into a spectacle. It'd be this huge event. Like, could you imagine the tours, the amount of media, the promotion, the adverts? America makes sense from a monetary value, in my opinion. But being the Brit, I want to see it in England, of course. I want to see it at a reasonable time in England because I would like to attend it. But if people had to fly over, would they? Of course they would. But that's me rambling on about Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. But again, Wills, appreciate the follow. Thank you so much for that. What's another thing I can give my opinion and thoughts on whilst I'm here on the stream, waiting for the Chief support to kick off? That's AJ Fury. I could kind of touch on Moses Tama, Philip Hergovich as is next week. I've mentioned it briefly, but for me, it's good to see how good Moses Tama is. I'm going to be honest though. I rate Moses Tama a lot, but I'm not on the bandwagon just yet completely, and I'll tell you why. Before people go, oh, you should be. Moses Tama for me is extremely talented. He's a phenomenal heavyweight. He's almost superhuman with his speed. I understand that, but he's also fighting an opponent in Philip Hergovich who is a perfect style for him at this moment in time. Philip Hergovich is known as that rugged, durable, tough guy that can stop you. But he's got flaws. And his flaws are he walks in a straight line for most of his fighting. So that works for a very mobile, young, incredibly quick athlete like Moses Tama who can pivot round his strong foot, land the decisive shots and really do some damage. And I think it bodes well Moses Tama fighting someone like Philip Hergovich right now. Not to mention the scar tissue on the eye. It's a huge thing. You know, Dave Allen fought Philip Hergovich for like, what was it, 3 rounds or 2 rounds? And he got a nick on his eye. And this fight was in jeopardy due to that cut on the eye. And that just goes to show that a couple shots will open up that eye, will make it a factor. And how much will that play into things? So I think it'll be interesting to see for me. I'm not gonna completely jump fully on the bandwagon even after the Hrgovic win, only because I want to see Moses in against someone like Daniel Dubois. Then I'm like, okay, Fabio Wardley, and that's me being honest. I'm gonna be completely honest with that. Daniel Dubois, Fabio Wardley, even at AJ, although I can't see that fight happening, I think those will say to me, Moses Thomas is at that level because these are more mobile heavyweights, especially Daniel Dubois. Brilliant fight that would be. That's my opinion on that one. Lastly, before we get back to this card, the rematch. They spoke about it. It's supposed to be in the works. The rematch between Daniel Dubois and Fabio Wardley. I'm saying Daniel Dubois' name first as he has won back his title. So, huge fight. It's a massive fight. Now, for me, don't get me wrong. If you follow me now on socials, you'll hopefully be able to see, especially on YouTube, my vlog that I recorded. And that vlog was intense. That vlog was intense because that vlog showed people behind the scenes. It showed people what's it like on a fight night, being close to the fighters, being in and amongst the atmosphere. And it also showed a lot of people fight footage. And I also got the stoppage in my vlog. Now, watching that back, even for my own lens, was just phenomenal because that fight was brutal. Brutal. And I'm a fan of tough fighting. I'm a fan of it, but that could have been stopped 2 rounds prior, in my opinion. Now, Fabio Wardley posted something epic saying it was his body that failed him and not his heart, and I respect it, and I think a lot of people respect him for it. But taking that rematch, having that rematch, how soon is Fabio Wardley really ready to take that rematch against Daniel Dubois? Because will we have a similar job? Is it best for Fabio to kind of move on and then try and work his way back up? Or is it smart for him to get back into the ring? And I think those are the things we need to look at right now. So that's me just kind of rambling on. Back to this fight. Rolly Romero, Teofimo Lopez. Sorry, right now, that was my bad. Right now we are on to the chief support of the night. So I'll put up the tail of the tape for you, just so you can get a glimpse of what is going on here. If you are on my YouTube stream, you'll be catching the tail of the tape live and in the flesh. Hernandez and Veron. Hernandez is 29 years old. The younger man is Veron, with 2 years younger, is 27. In terms of the actual record itself, which you'll be able to see on your screen, the record is 10 wins and 9 by way of knockout by Hernandez, which means he's a knockout artist and is also putting... There you go, just heard Kate Scott say it as well. He is a knockout artist and 9 KOs out of his 10 wins. That is a phenomenal amount. 90% knockout ratio versus Veron, who has got 17 wins, 1 loss and also 1 draw. He's also got 4 KOs against his name. There's a height difference which is in favour of Hernandez as well. 6'2" versus the 5'10" man. Also weight, there's not much in it. It's only all but 0.4 pounds. So 159.2 Fernandez and 159.6 for Veron. And they are both orthodox fighters. Something has happened on my TikTok stream. Your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted. Regulated goods and services. This is what I'm talking about. What on earth is it they're talking about? Consumer substances. What? I mean, at this rate, I don't even know why I stream on TikTok anymore. There's nothing in my stream. I haven't even got a drink in my hand. Can I appeal that? Alright, so if you are on my TikTok and you've managed to stay on there, I recommend please going over to my YouTube channel. I don't have none of these dramas on YouTube because right now TikTok is telling me I'm consuming substances featured in this live which could harm my health. And if you've seen, the only thing I've drunk is a supermalt, and that does not harm your health in the slightest bit. So AI, you are talking nonsense there. Me battling TikTok once again. I'm containing no substances, by the way. But yeah. Anyway, we have the tail of the tape on your screen right now. It's exactly the same as what you see on TV. You see it here. I've got it in a different order. 6'2", 5'10". Only, oh, they actually got, oh yeah, saying 0.4. They've got reach. I don't have reach on there. Got the age on there, and I've got the record. So you've probably got a little bit more detail on mine. Just saying. So I hope you enjoy that. Debuted 2 years apart. They've had a massive amount of difference in rounds because there's a 90% knockout ratio versus a 58.8% knockout ratio for Veron. So Hernandez is the guy that you'll be watching to see sparks fly. And let's hope this chief support, I don't want to hope it's quick, but I don't mind skipping ahead to the main event. And I don't understand what to do with this live. You know what I'm going to do on TikTok? Give me a second, people. Bear in mind, my YouTube people. Give me a sec. I'm going to restart my live on TikTok because they've done me over once again. Which is so annoying. Go live again. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. $10 salute, right? Yeah, I won't talk during this, by the way. Out of respect. Rest in peace to the people that have fallen. Alright, chief support. Oh, co-main event. I don't know if it's a UK US thing, you know. I get confused about that. Look, I'm into boxing. If you know me, I know my boxing, right? I'm not a newbie. But I don't get how this would be a co-main. Because in my head, co-main's like you have two title fights that you could have. Co-main is their two main events. But maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Hey, welcome to this. Have fun with new viewers. Blah blah. So I'm live on TikTok now again. We're in the co-main right now, or chief support. I've got the stuff on screen. Hernandez is 29 years old. I repeat one more time. Veron is 27, so the younger man, only by 2 years. I don't think it'll make much of a difference in this fight. Looking at their record, you've got a 10-0 record for Hernandez, 9 by way of knockout, 90% knockout ratio, and then you've got 17-1-1 with 4 KOs for Veron. 6'2", so he's also the taller man, and he looks like the more powerful man at this rate, versus the 5'10" Veron. And obviously your weight, there's not really much in it. There's 0.4 pounds in it, so it's barely even something for me to notice. And also the one last thing I'm going to mention is the fact they are both orthodox fighters. So if you are joining me on TikTok, I just want to say I appreciate you, but on TikTok you're not getting the full experience because you're not getting the breakdown of the tail of the tape, which is on the screen on YouTube right now. So if you want to head over to YouTube, you have to see the tail of the tape that I've got on screen right now for you, where it breaks down exactly the fighters' ages, records, heights, weights, and stance. and hopefully gives you more of an immersive experience. My YouTube channel is Watchalong. I'm directing everybody there. And if not, and you're on YouTube now, enjoy the stream because the main event is coming up after this chief support. So I appreciate people joining, but I'm directing everybody to my YouTube channel as TikTok keeps restricting my lives, unfortunately. So, hey, it is what it is, mate. We're at the chief support now. Alright, appreciate people joining. I didn't even see that. I saw the influx of people joining there. So thank you for people that are joining on TikTok. I recommend joining my YouTube channel though. My YouTube channel will give you more of an immersive experience. I will keep saying it. So you've currently got a tailor the tape on your screen, and when the fight starts you will have a round counter on my YouTube channel. I appreciate the likes, I appreciate the rose. Thank you for that. I really do appreciate that, by the way. So thank you. It's Hez, I'll shout you out for that, so appreciate it. Thank you for the likes as well. And the people joining for my post, thank you as well. We are in the chief support at the moment. And we have Veron versus Hernandez. They're about to call them out now in a ring anyway, but I'll give you my version of the tailor tapes because it's on screen currently. One last time. In fact, no, I'll let them say it. 17, 1 and 1 with 4. No. Oh. That's wrong on my screen. Apologies. I had 4 knockouts. It's 10. Apologies. That is a mistake on my part. I hold my hands up, but you'll still get the full experience on YouTube anyway. But I appreciate the roses, so thank you for that. This guy's a knockout artist though. Undefeated, 6'2", 10 wins, 9 by way of knockout, and that is genuinely correct. How old is he? 29, top rated rising star. Let's see what Hernandez does. Hernandez. Appreciate the people joining the live on TikTok. I appreciate the people on YouTube as well. We'll be giving you some commentary and then we'll be going into the main event, which is why I'm sure everybody is joining the stream anyway. So stay tuned, stick around. Commentary on the way for this chief support. So belt line is fine. Anything lower, the ref will call it as per. Alright. Chief support, we're ready to go. 9-1 favourite for Hernandez, who literally has taken out 9 out of 10 opponents within the distance. Knockout artist, to say the least. Appreciate the people joining the live and flying through. But we've just started now, and you can already see now Hernandez's speed is phenomenal. Oh, we landed a tough shot already. But I think Veron's going to be very interesting to see how he tries to deal with that speed and that power. Because my advice, looking at this fight, body shots are going to be key, and your jab. Jab to keep the distance, and body shots to try and take the wind out of his sails. However, Hernandez is looking ferocious at the moment. He's coming out with some stiff jabs himself. And he's quite quick. He's definitely quite quick. But yeah, Veron for me, keep that jab and keep the body shots going. Try and change the lanes, but he is getting caught on the back foot at the moment. Appreciate the people. Appreciate the likes as well. Thank you for the likes on the stream. I'm also streaming live on YouTube as well. Whoops. Speaking of which, on my YouTube channel, you will be able to see that I have a round counter on here as well. So when it's round 1, you get that up until round 10, which I've just updated now for people. So make sure you check that out if you're on here. And Hernandez versus Veron. After that, it's Romero and Teofimo Lopez. So make sure you stick around for that, because the YouTube will give you the full experience, the tail of the tape, the breakdown, and I'll go through who's won the last couple fights as well. But first round, Veron's doing what I was hoping he was going to do. He's using his jab and going for the body a hell of a lot right now, which is actually quite effective at keeping Hernandez off him, because Hernandez is looking at getting that 10th knockout and the 11th win very soon. Ooh. Do you know what? Hernandez landed some very big shots now. So, in terms of center of the ring, right now, center of the ring is Veron. He's doing very well at keeping the center of the ring and not necessarily going on the back foot. He's landing some good uppercuts through the guard of Hernandez at the moment. And I think, like I said, my key to victory and what he's actually doing very well is the jab. It is the space finder, it's the distance measurer, and it's also a way of just keeping your opponent back and limiting the amount of pressure that comes forward. So it's doing quite well for him at the moment. And the last 20 seconds of the first round, I'd argue Veron's probably got the win for the first round, the way he's been landing, but Hernandez is very quick. He's got his hands down though, very confident, dodging some punches, looking out at the crowd, very flamboyant. But he has took some shots this round, and that is round 1 done. So, whilst you're joined in, if you're on TikTok, appreciate you, but I recommend heading over to my YouTube channel. I'm pushing everyone over to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, I appreciate you for joining in here and staying on, as this is the second stream I've done for boxing tonight. The first stream was the Matchroom card, and I've had no rest. I've gone straight in to this card now. So, loving it at the moment, back-to-back streams. I appreciate the likes on the stream, people that have flown through. Main event is on next. We are currently at the chief support, Hernandez versus Veron. Round 2, my round 1, I would score arguably for Veron, to be fair, based on his activity and his punch output and accuracy. For me, I think I'd go to Veron probably for the first round. But Hernandez is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Sorry, give me a second. But yeah, start of the second round, Hernandez is landing some very heavy shots. Come out flying with 2 jabs and a right hook, which have all landed so far. Appreciate the people that are joining on TikTok and YouTube as well. Interesting though, because Veron's got a lot of punch power on him, right? And I'm curious to see how he carries that through later on into this fight. Should we go past 5 rounds? At the moment, he's using his just brute strength to kind of bully Veron quite a bit, using his elbows. You know, the dark arts of boxing, when you get into the clinch and use forearms, elbows and whatnot, just to kind of throw your opponent off, rattle them a bit, and have the referee give you a warning. You know, everyone does it at this point. Did I just get more roses? No, I didn't. I think I did. Appreciate them if I did. Yeah, but Veron's got to be very careful he doesn't turn into one of those punches now. So what just happened there, he went back into the ropes, but he kind of pivoted his body and rotated it a bit and actually caught one on the chin. Just got to be a little bit careful, because Hernandez is an extremely powerful puncher and he's got a very firm jab on him. However, like I mentioned, the key to victory for Veron is the jab and is the body shots. And right now he's going for the jab and he's landing some good body shots. So it's good to see. If you're watching this live, which I hope you are alongside my commentary, then that means you are subscribed to the zone, most likely. Yep, the next fight is Rolly. The next fight is the main event. That next fight is Rolly. So I'm covering a chief support now. The next fight is Rolly Ramirez. So make sure you're locked in because the next fight is Rolly. No worries, all good. But this is a good fight, to be honest with you. We've got a man that's knocked out 90% of his opponents versus a man that's knocked out 58% of his opponents. So both guys are heavy hitters. That's to say the least. It's actually a very good chief support. Or they're calling it a co-main event. Chief support, whatever. Veron and Hernandez at the moment. Appreciate the likes. Thank you for that, man. I'm also live streaming, multi-streaming on YouTube and TikTok. So hopefully people on both platforms are enjoying the differences. But the bigger man looks like Hernandez at the moment. And Veron's got a chin on him, man. He's took some real shots, especially some left hooks, and he's got a real good chin. A little bit of showboat in there. Going into the third round. Wait, is that right? Did I beat the last round? Did I miss a round? Sorry. A little bit of tiredness is creeping in, only because I've been live streaming the Matchroom card as well, and I didn't sleep, so I'm back to back. I think it's the third round. If not, I'm wrong. So I'm interested about that advice. That advice is for Veron to get closer and tighter to throw the shorter punches. But I did think he was having a bit of success with the jab. Despite not having the longer reach, he actually does have a very solid jab on him. And it's very accurate. So I'm surprised it asked him to get in that tight. But we have started. The next round is, yep, I was correct. Round 3 at the moment. And then after that, we're going into the main event. I can't see this fight going a distance, but I've said this a few times tonight and I've been wrong. So a lot of people have some very solid chin. But coming out here, Veron's kind of doing the same thing he did before. Boxing out of that southpaw stance, which I always find tricky to navigate whenever you're boxing. And he is utilising the jab very well and the body punches. But saying that, Hernandez now is starting to let his hands go a little bit more and is getting some joy and some success throwing out of the clinch. Interesting. This actually could go a little bit further than I expected it to, because Veron now is actually on the front foot. He's landing almost at will on Hernandez. One thing I find fascinating, for a better use of a different word, fighters that are extremely powerful, like Hernandez, like Veron, that take unnecessary damage, standing still, hands kind of low, and allowing shots to ride off their face. I just think it's mad to me, because the name of the game is to hit and not get hit, I would say, and avoid taking too much damage. So I don't understand the tactic behind leaving your chin exposed to take some shots just to prove you can. You know, putting more miles on the clock that you don't need to put on there, really. Fascinating. But yeah, going into the third round, I've got Hernandez up probably by one. Was that knocked down? Or was it not down? Interesting. Hernandez is now starting to land some real tough shots now. He's almost in a Philly shell, kind of just standing in the middle of the ring right now, waiting for Veron to come to him so he can land some straight shots, which he's been doing. He's got his hands down right now, dodging some punches, being very flamboyant, almost reminds you a bit of like Ben Whittaker kind of style. But just went for a very looping right hand, which completely missed Veron, and then followed up and actually did land on Veron just now. And a good combination, a good jab back from Veron, who now is firing back himself, heading into the fourth round. And I'm surprised we're even coming out of the third round at the moment with the amount of power we've got on display. Oh, my mouth. So 4 of 10, which I've updated now. So again, people on TikTok, I appreciate you joining, and I'm really thankful for it. But I recommend my my YouTube stream for the full experience, which will give you what they're fighting for, which is just a middleweight contest, who they are, Hernandez and Veron, and also you'll get the round, which will be live, updated every single time that buzzer sounds. So make sure on the YouTube stream, no restrictions, pure engagement, pure immersion. And I do appreciate you flying through, even if it's just for a second, just to see how the stream's going on TikTok and on YouTube. So thank you all for the support, the likes, the comments, the gifts that have come through. I appreciate every single one of you all. So yeah, round number 4. I'm waiting for the main event at this point. Round number 4 is looking good. Yeah, Veron's got a good chin on him, to be fair. He took some good shots, especially around, well, Hernandez just lifted him up now. But Veron took some very good shots in round 1 and 2, and he actually shows he's got a chin. So I don't think it'll be that easy to knock down Veron unless you really catch him cleanly. Or a very well timed body shot will take down some of the toughest men. We've seen it in boxing many a time, so I wonder if that will play a factor. And Veron landed a very sweet uppercut and tight just then, which is exactly what his team's been asking for. And then a good body shot, which is what I've been asking for. So best of both worlds. And he's now jabbing and walking around Hernandez and trying to avoid getting hit, which he's doing very well. I think his evasive tactics this round has been solid. Avoiding any critical damage while landing shots of his own. Good combination, 4-punch combination there from Veron. But then he got caught right on the chin as he was trying to step back. So interesting. It will be good to see, because right now it looks like Veron's not necessarily fearing the power coming his way too much. And obviously, look, don't get me wrong, Hernandez is a man that's got 9 knockouts on his resume. So he's a man that is no slouch or no stranger to heavy hitting and stopping you and turning your lights off. But with Veron taking these shots, as the rounds go on, the power might start to fade in the rounds, which means potentially Veron might start disrespecting the power coming his way and landing more of his own. But I think I've still partially got Hernandez up on this stream. Appreciate you, Mo. Checks back in. Appreciate you, May. I had to do a whole other stream. TikTok doing TikTok stuff. Oh, Veron's taking some real good shots, man. When he's walking back, he's taking some clean shots on the chin. Nah, it's all good. Do you know what? I managed to get back on the stream. That's the main thing. But yeah, for some reason, anytime I like drink something that looks suspicious or whatever, they flag me. So, or just eat or whatever, breathe at this point on TikTok. But what I recommend people, if you're joining the TikTok stream, which I appreciate anyway, I've got a YouTube stream running simultaneously. I'm multi-streaming right now. And on YouTube, you do have the round counter, which is going into the 5th round right now, 5 out of 10. Not just that, but you also have what they're fighting for. So this is obviously just a middleweight contest for this one here. It's a 10-rounder, all on your screen. You can't miss it. And it keeps you immersed and up to date with the action. You've got Hernandez's name in the red corner, Veron in the blue corner, and that keeps you up to date. So my YouTube account is Monch Young, exact same name as what you're on now for TikTok. So just as an FYI for people, just to head over there and immerse yourself in a much more polished stream. But if you want to stay on TikTok, totally up to you, and I appreciate it nevertheless. Heading into the 6th round. Fifth round, sorry. It is fifth round, yeah, I was right. Veron now has landed some really good shots against Hernandez now. Like, I'm talking really good. He's landed probably like a three-punch combination. And Veron was landing effectively until Hernandez got into the Philly show and started deflecting some of those punches coming his way. So that's a very strong start from Veron. I think it's a start that he needed. It's probably what his corners told him he needs a faster start to really assert dominance and kind of get in the judge's mind that he is still here to fight and he's here to win. And I think that's what we kind of needed. But currently, Chris Mannix, I think the scorecards have been way off tonight, but he does have Hernandez up by every single round. So he's got him up by 4 at the moment. But Veron's not doing too bad at all. I think the body shot's being well, the jab's going well, and he's keeping himself at distance and at arm's length where he's able to really capitalise on the mistakes that Hernandez is making. And he is making some mistakes. Hernandez is making some mistakes for sure. Fifth round, 1 minute and 38 seconds left remaining in the round. And then we'll be heading into the sixth round. But I thought we'd get a knockdown by now, to be honest with you. Very interesting. Appreciate the people joining again, especially the rejoiners and the people that are staying on for YouTube and obviously TikTok. Thank you so much. Multi-streaming again, I will say. If you are looking to watch this fight, the best way to do it is the Zone. I'm going to recommend first and foremost. So if you don't have a pay-per-view subscription, I believe it's in my bio. You can get a pay-per-view subscription from there. And if you use Montel 10, I'm trying to remember what the code is. No, sorry, Montel 20 will save you 20% off your DAZN subscription if you use it right now. That will save you 20% off, which includes 12 minimum pay-per-views per month, including the one we're watching right now. Per month. 12 minimum pay-per-views per year, including the one you're watching now. Apologies. And fights every single week. So make sure you got a DAZN subscription. And if not, not the main event, no. We're on a chief support at the moment. And Vero landed a very strong shot just now on Hernandez. He's actually wobbled Hernandez where Hernandez is against the ropes. It's a very tough shot he landed just then. No, so we're on to the chief support. When the main event starts, you will have the full experience, don't worry. But this is a great chief support. Yep, very good chief support, and I'd say that round for me is finally a Veron round. So I would have, going into the sixth round, I've got it 4-1. I have it 4-1 in favour of Hernandez winning 4-1. Romero sounding extremely focused right there. I just went silent just to see what he was gonna say. But yeah, no, the fight hasn't started yet. The main event it is on next, so stay tuned and you'll be watch that. Alright, so straight into the sixth round, and Hernandez has realised he got rocked in that last round and definitely probably lost that round, so I think it'd be interesting to see how he takes on this round. The T-Mobile Arena is starting to fill up. I did mention this earlier on in the stream. It was a random comment for me, I understand, but I did feel as though there was a lot of capacity spare given we were at the chief support, but it seems to be filling up now, so that is good to see. Yeah, Veron definitely had a very strong fifth round, but he isn't coming out the gates flying as much in this round at all. Appreciate the people that are joining on either platform, whether it's TikTok or YouTube. Yeah, Hernandez is landing almost at will at the moment. They're both in the center of the ring now. Good exchanges. But what's working for Ron is what I said. The jab's working, and I also mentioned about the body shots, but he's not really gone for the body as much now. But the jab is definitely working, and I think if he sticks to those two, the fundamentals are key for the win. Whoops. Ugh. We are at the chief support, those to remind people. Obviously, people on YouTube, you know exactly what we're on because I'm keeping you updated with the live round count and also who is fighting. If you're on TikTok, it is the chief support. It is Hernandez versus Veron. We are into the 6th round. A minute is only remaining. Oh, Hernandez landed about 4-punch combination. One like was slightly over the back of the head as well. And he's just asserting his dominance and his strength right now. Almost WWE-esque in that ring at times. Good shot by Hernandez. Doubled up on it as well. Left and a straight right. He is fighting orthodox, of course. They both are fighting orthodox, if that matters to you as well. But they have switched stances throughout this fight. So it's been good to see that adjustment and those adjustments being made also. Been told to listen for the bell. And that is going into the 7th round. The tiredness is well and truly kicking in, people, because I have been streaming non-stop for hours. But, whoops, that's what happened last time I pressed enter. Going to the 7th round, so 6 rounds to judge. I have it 5-1 to Hernandez. I have Hernandez up by 5 rounds. I think he did lose the 5th round. And I think other than that, he has been pretty much in control of this fight. Going into the main event very soon, probably about, if there's no stoppage. Oof. On the loose. Jump là-dessus. Wait, what? Oh my gosh. I just saw something on my phone. Sorry, it just threw me off for a second. I just saw on my phone, yeah. This is very random. But I saw Rodriguez beats Hernandez, and I was like, wait, what? I'm watching that now. But obviously, his name's not Rodriguez. But it just threw me off just because of Hernandez. That was regarding UFC, if you're watching that, or if you have any interest in that. But we are at the chief support. We are almost there, people. Just hang on for a little bit longer, and we are almost at the main event. We're around the corner from it. Seventh round. Both guys are giving it their all at the moment, and we are heading ever so closer to that main event that everyone is looking forward to. But I think Veron and Hernandez are both doing a stellar job, if I'm being honest with you. I think I'm very impressed with both of how they've been fighting at the moment. Veron showed me that he can use his jab, he showed me he can use his footwork, he can take a shot, he's got a bloody granite chin on him. And he can trade in the pocket, stand in the middle of the ring and trade. He's not afraid of some contact, that's for sure. Which can probably dishearten Hernandez a little bit, who's been throwing some absolute bombs and not rocked his opponent yet, despite his 90% knockout ratio. Right there in the clinch at the moment, just broke out of that. And Veron is landing some good shots now, whilst Hernandez is up against the ropes. Got to be careful because you're taking rounds off here, and these are rounds you can't afford to take off. Let's bear that in mind. Just having a little bit of an energy drink now to post me through. Probably a bad idea, to be fair, at this time. Not recommended, by the way, people. Veron is landing some good shots. Hernandez up against the ropes again, kind of in that Philly shell. 30 seconds left. Hernandez is now landing coming out off the ropes. I just think, you know what, Hernandez is taking some rounds off here. He's probably lost this round and lost round 5. So he lost about 2. But the tide can definitely change as you go into round 8 and onwards if it continues at this pace. So, got to bear in mind. Got to bear that in mind. But the fresher man is looking at Veron at the moment. And if we're updating that round counter now, we are on 8 out of 10. So Veron is the tough, rugged man, for sure. So at the moment, we have people just flying into the stream at the moment. I think they think the main event's on. It's not on yet. So I would recommend rejoining if you want to get a little breather. Heading to round 8, 2 more rounds at the moment, and we've come out the gate and Veron has landed some good shots. I would say there's some rounds that we're looking at, they might be slowly getting away from Hernandez, and you just got to be careful he doesn't lose too many of these rounds, taking his foot off the gas and trying to regain his composure, as those rounds will still count in the judge's eyes as rounds against him. Oh, I say that, and Hernandez landed a beautiful shot to the point where he's wobbled and rocked Veron, who's actually kind of shook his head and said it didn't hurt me, which is always a telltale sign to say he is actually hurt. But I say that, and he just landed a very good shot himself, Veron, with a left hook right over the top of the guard. I think taking Hernandez to the distance is very good. It just shows your chin, and it might knock that fear of power out of Hernandez, despite potentially being disbelief at this point. But a minute and 40 seconds left into the 8th round. And Hernandez has landed some good shots, but they're just kind of riding off the gloves, riding off the shoulders a bit. They're not clean punches. Sorry, my TikTok started playing up then. But yeah, right now, 8th round, a minute and 20 seconds left. I've got Hernandez still up. I've got him up by at least 6 rounds here. I have it 5 to 6 rounds. Give Veron 2 rounds. You could arguably give him a third, so it might be closer than what I have it down as. But I do think now the tide has definitely shifted into Veron's favour, and as I say that, he just ate a 2-piece combo and a beautiful uppercut from Hernandez. Phenomenal uppercut inside. They both went for a clinch, and then he kind of adjusted his armour through an uppercut. Very unique punch, but landed effectively, and a straight right hand there. You know what? He reminds me of Martin Bakoli a little bit. Hernandez, in terms of his punching style, kind of walks you down and just throws punches in punches that are powerful. Obviously, he's a lot quicker and more mobile, so that isn't a disrespect. I'm just saying there is some similarities there. We're heading to the 9th round. Who would have thought would be the 9th round of a Hernandez fight? but he's up against a rugged and tough opponent. So yeah, I think things are looking very interesting for this round. I appreciate the people. I got to always say it, I'm always going to shout out the people that are on the stream right now. People on YouTube, I appreciate you. The people on TikTok, I massively appreciate you also, as I know this is an app that you typically just scroll past. So thank you for locking into the stream. We're in achieve support right now. We have 2 more rounds and we'll be back into the stream fully locked in for the main event, which is Romero versus Teofimo Lopez. Do you know what? I like the way Teofimo carries himself on camera. I think he carries himself very well on camera as well. Romero has been a bit antisocial leading up into this main event and this fight week, which is understandable. Some fighters just like to lock in. They hate to be disturbed. They can be short of patience, obviously, with the weight cuts and whatnot. But I think it's just very good to see Romero and Teofimo Lopez kind of compliant with media. Separate topic, I do media as well, so it's just good to see that from my perspective. But coming out the gate of round 9, same as usual really. Hernandez has been coming out strong. He's been obviously leading the charge. But the problem is every time he's come inside, he's been getting caught now. So I think the interesting part is how much more is he going to take getting caught? And again, how many of these rounds is he losing by fighting this fight, which he doesn't necessarily need to fight? But saying that, throwing some looping shots there. And we are just over a round before we get into the outcome for this fight and obviously the main event, which everybody is looking forward to. So I will do a rundown of the running order of the card as I promised, and after that rundown's been done, you will have the graphic on the screen, which will be a tail of the tape for both fighters. And after the tail of the tape, you will definitely be getting the same graphic that's there, there, which will tell you who's fighting, what corner they're in, whether it's red or blue corner, and also what round you're in as well. So stay tuned for the stream and you'll be having all of that very, very soon. But if you're on TikTok, I recommend jumping to my YouTube. If you're on my YouTube, stay there, please, and you will enjoy the main event coming up very soon. This fight's been rather interesting. I think it's definitely changed the complexion of the fight from round 7, I'd say. Round 7, I think Veron had a bit of success. I think he's had a bit more success now. Be interesting to see whether the judges see it the same way as I do, or whether the commentary team are going to be the ones agreed with and having it in favour. Good 4-punch combination there by Hernandez. And then Veron rolled out of the way of the last shot. And they've gone back into the clinch, leaning up against the ropes now. It's a bit messy here. Veron's got his head leaning up against Hernandez. Very easily susceptible to a cut in that position. But great 3-punch combination by Hernandez. 2 punches over the right hand, overhand right. And then he landed a beautiful uppercut in close. And they're both in a phone booth now trying to throw some shots. And we are going into the 10th and final round of this fight. And look, this is again the second time that a fighter might be able to take Hernandez to the distance. Sorry, looking at that. 110. Sorry, it's updating the round counter. There we are. Yeah, this is the second time, that Hernandez would be taken to the judges' scorecard should it continue and persist like this. And then after that, we have the main event. Both fighters are ready. They're warmed up. They're training. They're shaking off the ring rust in the dressing room right now as we speak. And Teofimo Lopez is looking serious, looking locked in, looking ready. And Romero. Fighters I want to see back in the ring: Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson. I want to see these fighters be a lot more active than they have been. I don't think they're nowhere near as active as they should be. Again, personal opinion here. but he touched gloves for the final round. Been a good fight overall though. I've actually been quite impressed with this fight, to be honest with you. I think Hernandez has shown me something I didn't expect. I think Veron showed me that he still has a lot to give, that he's a formidable foe, and that he actually can utilise his jab very well when he needs to let it go. And I think that's been what kept Hernandez at bay, that jab. But Hernandez at the moment is using a Philly shell-ish, and he's just going exclusively with a lead straight right down the pipe to try and land that. His hands are down at the moment, he's dodging and he's using his instincts to avoid some of these shots coming back at him. I was just listening to the commentary team there, and I think to ever say someone is so good they don't need to use their feet, I think is a bit abysmal as advice, because you need to use your feet in boxing, in my opinion. But Hernandez is now showboating, landed a good shot, put his hands out to say, look at me, and then carried on. Oh, Veron got caught with a good left hook coming in then. Went in for a clinch, got caught straight away with a left hook. The main event is up next, by the way, people, if you're interested. The main event is on next. So we are hanging on for the main event. Yeah, I'd say Hernandez is winning the fight, if someone was to ask me. I think he's just been a lot more decisive with his shots. Main event is on next, people. It is on next. If you're on my YouTube, you will be getting that live update without me even need to say a word, because you already know what's coming up next. The running order, I'll run through that again, the winners, and straight after that, we will be covering the main event. Been a good fight. You know, I think last 14 seconds of the fight, Hernandez hasn't had it all his way. He hasn't had it easy, to be fair. Based on his 90% knockout ratio, he's not had it easy at all. I love how the commentators are already calling it time. And that is the fight done. For the chief support, the main event is on next. So I will be taking you straight to the running order one more time. If you're on my YouTube channel, the main event is coming on next. So make sure you share the live. You like the live, you comment if you can, please. It helps more people see the live so they can get the same commentary that you're experiencing now. So please like, share, comment, subscribe if you can. The main event is on next. Appreciate you, Mo, as always. But anyone else, like, comment, please, subscribe and share, because we have the main event next. Romero versus Teofimo Lopez for the WBA welterweight world title. Big title on the line. Two huge names that seem quite amicable and friendly at the moment, but you can tell when they get on, they will be getting it on, and that is on right after this fight's announced their winner, which you can only assume would be Hernandez based on how he's done. Appreciate you, Mo. Main event is coming on in the next 5 or 10 minutes, I hope. After the post-fight interview, I'm hoping they go straight into it, because Teofimo Lopez look ready to come out, and I suspect Romero will be exactly the same when he's ready to come out as well. One-sided? I do think it's one-sided. I think he lost a couple rounds though. I think he lost a couple rounds taking his foot off the gas. So despite it being one-sided, I do think Hernandez needs some respect. Tiredness talking. Veron needs some respect based on what he's done and how he's able to keep up with that level of momentum. Interesting that Andy Ruiz is returning, and on a Friday as well, 4th of September. So he's returning in 2 weeks' time, in fact. Nevertheless, he'll be back on your screens once more, causing havoc again, I'm sure. I thought so. We had a majority decision. I thought so. I thought it was closer than we expected. 95-95 a draw. Hernandez got the win. Just waiting to see that live on the screen. That is your winner by majority decision. The first judge had it by a draw. The other two judges had it quite wide by at least 6 and 7 rounds. So exactly what I said, really and truly. I think it was a little bit closer than we expected. He definitely gave some rounds away based on him taking his foot off the gas. But nevertheless, he got the job done. And guess what is next? So look, what's next is the main event. So if I can please ask anybody watching the stream, now is the time for the big push to get it out there. To like, comment, share, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Please make sure you do that, because the main event is on next, and that is Rolly Romero versus Teofimo Lopez for the WBA welterweight world title. So if you can, like, comment, share, subscribe, please. It's all free, can all be doable, and that will help push this live out more for the main event, which I don't think will take too long for them to come out. So I appreciate the people that are joined in, especially at this time. If you're from the UK, it's 4:20 in the morning. That's the time people waking up to go to the gym. And I've also got an event tomorrow, so I'm here pushing on for you guys to make sure you have the best experience possible and the most interactive experience. But as promised, I shall give you all a rundown of what's been happening. Sorry, just checking something on my phone. So, a rundown of what's been happening so far. I didn't actually watch that first match, so ignore that first one that's on the screen. We had Russell, that actually is now the interim WBA Super Bantamweight champion. He put on a stellar performance. Just then, we had Hernandez that got a majority decision win, and he has won the majority. That makes no sense. He's won his middleweight contest, against a very tough Veron. And next, finally, we're here. We have the main event, which is Rolly Romero versus Teofimo Lopez for the WBA World Welterweight title. It's actually welterweight world title, but I am tired, so bear with me. Super still liking my story from earlier on. So yeah, I'm hoping you're enjoying the graphics as well. Let me know if you've got any feedback for the graphics, if you want to see something different, if you want me to change the writing, the font, blah blah. Let me know how you feel about this. Obviously, this is the running order. If you're on TikTok, you can't see what I'm talking about, so please make sure you get on YouTube. But I hope you enjoy what you're seeing. And as Kate Scott said it, we have the main event up next. Rolly Romero is going to defend his belt, or attempt to, should I say. And whilst we've gone through the running order, let us go through the tail of the tape for the last time. And I'm actually going to, whilst I'm doing this, reset the clock. So this is obviously a 12-round bout. So 12-round bout, we're going to be going into round 1. And the fight will be Rolly Romero versus Teofimo Lopez. But before we get to that, let's go through the tail of the tape, shall we? Both men. Tail of the tape live on your screen if you're watching on YouTube. But we are going to the main event now. Teofimo Lopez versus Rolly Romero. Now let's look at the tail of the tape. Ages: 30 for Rolly Romero. He is 1 year older than Teofimo Lopez. That won't really play a massive factor into this fight, I must say. Next, the record. So you have 17-2 with 13 KOs in favor of Rolly Romero, and 22-2 with 13 KOs in favor of Teofimo Lopez. So looking at their records now, they're both equal when it comes to KOs. They've both lost 2 fights. I think it's going to be a very close contest. Next, their height: 5'8" for Romero and 5'9" for Teofimo Lopez. And if we're looking at weight, it is nothing but 0.4 pounds. So I'm not even going to mention that. It's hardly anything to talk about in weight. And they're both an orthodox style fighter. So I hope that helps in terms of the tail of the tape and statistics. The next fight is Romero. So if you can, I'm going to ask one more time, share, like, comment. The next fight is Romero. You will be getting it. Is it started now? Is that an old comment? I can't remember. Brain is fried. I've been live streaming quite a lot tonight. If that's an old comment, yes, it is starting next. If you're on YouTube, you will see it on your screen here with the tail of the tape. If you're on TikTok, you will see it there also. So yeah, I'm swaying towards Romero for the win. I'll be honest with you. I know it's going to be a bit of a hot take for a lot of people. People are going to assume Teofimo Lopez will get the win. And I can see why. He's a great fighter, great competitor, and he is, I'm saying that Floyd Mayweather there. He's just genuinely a very good fighter, but I just think Romero has the skill set to beat him right now. And this fight will be a lot more interesting than we expect it to be. But yes, people, we are live on the stream at 4:30 a.m. This has been an all-night bender for me, so this sleep I'm going to have is going to be absolutely sublime after this. Waiting for Kate Scott to announce what's happening. But we have an IBF championship belt on the line, which has been a surprise to a lot of people, which is happening next weekend between Moza Tama and Filip Hrgović. I say a surprise because that was the belt that Frank Sanchez was supposed to be going for next. However, Frank Sanchez obviously took a little bit of step aside fees for him to be able to be the man that has to fight the winner of Moza Tama and Filip Hrgović. So, IBF belt on the line for next week. And for this week now, we are looking at youngest champ since Tyson. This definitely isn't him, is it? I don't think that's Moza Tama. No, it's not Moza Tama at all. Oh, it is. They got this little promo clip playing, and it doesn't look like Moza Tama, but I think it is. It looks a tad corny. Corny, I said, by the way. Saturday Fight Night, live and exclusive on the Zone. We are going into the main event. See, I mentioned something earlier on, right? And I was talking about Malik Scott's takes, and I think he's a very analytical and he's brilliant at breaking down fights, and he's exquisite at what he does. But I think where he's wrong is in terms of the opponent for Moza Tama. Moza Tama is a fantastic boxer, but I just feel like stylistically, Hrgović is the perfect opponent to be dismantled by Moza Tama based on his skill set. And based on how Filip Hrgović fights, he walks in straight lines. He doesn't stray far off an axis. So if you've got to think about an axis in terms of an axis of not getting hit. He's very straight on that line to be hit, and he's got a lot of scar tissue. So I'm not too keen on that judgment. Don't ridicule me in the comments, but it's just my thoughts. Next up, we have the main event, by the way. So if you are watching, thank you for the people that have stayed on the stream since Matchroom. If you've been on there, I appreciate that. Also, let's see, make Rolly overcommit. This is the breakdown that I do like from Malik Scott. You're hearing an analytical breakdown now of why he believes these are the keys to victory for interesting. People joining, we are going into the main event right now, so I appreciate you joining. We are heading straight there, just waiting for Malik Scott to finish his assessment of this fight. It's interesting they're using Tank and stuff like that to dissect, but I think Tank's a very generational fighter. Despite how he is as a person, what he's done or outside the ring, look, I don't condone all that stuff, but he is a special talent for sure. And Teofimo Lopez is ready to come out. So we have notifications on my Instagram as well, because people are still up watching this, which I appreciate nevertheless. You know, I always appreciate the people supporting and watching. Is it started now? I think it's an old comment. It is an old comment. Yeah, that's why I think Teofimo Lopez is kind of at risk here, because his lead hand is always down. It's a very good assessment from Malik Scott. But it's hard to use Shakur Stevenson as a measuring stick, as he is a generational talent and he is phenomenal. People joining, we are getting ready to the main event. Sorry, if you're not following me or watching on YouTube, you will be missing out on some very key graphics, which are your tailor the tapes. So I'll run through that now very quickly. Tailor the tape. So for age, Rolly Romero is 30 and Teofimo Lopez is Teofimo Lopez, apologies, is only 29. So it's just 1 year difference. In terms of record, this is where it gets interesting. So for records, Rolly Romero is 17-2 with 13 KOs, and Teofimo Lopez is 22-2. So again, they've both got 2 losses and they've both equally got 13 knockouts, which means the punch power for both men is definitely there. They have the ability in their hands to stop and end this show very quickly. Height wise, only an inch in it. 5'8" for Rolly Romero, 5'9" for Teofimo Lopez. The weight is all but 0.4 pounds, hardly anything to note, and it's really negligible at this point. And they are both in orthodox stance to come out of the fight anyway, so we'll like to see how they actually pursue. And this is again for the WBA welterweight world title. So anyone joining, I appreciate it, and this is going to be very interesting as a main event, as we are hanging on here. The question is, who do the fans have? That's a very nice chain Romero's got. WBA belt and a chain, very nice chain. Appreciate people joining on TikTok. The main event is kicking off very soon, so stay tuned. It won't take long for the main event to kick off. I enjoy how respectful they are to each other. Obviously, they are pretty much quite friendly with each other. So I do enjoy. I think that's what the sport needs more of, that kind of gentleman approach. You can be an arse at times, but I think that gentleman approach does go well. I've noticed as well they bleep you if you swear. Not that I do swear on here anyway, so we're all good. But people joining, hope you're joining because you are ready for the main event, because it is coming up next. And as soon as that main event's done, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not watching no interviews. I'm going straight to sleep because I am absolutely knackered. Teofimo Lopez looking ready, and Romero. If you listen to the tail of the tape through my headphones, you would have already heard I've given you the exact tail of the tape already. 30 to 29. I've got the record on screen, which they don't actually have on screen right now. 17-2, 13 KOs, and 22-2 with 13 KOs. So both men can take the fight out of you. Debuted in the same year, funny enough, but Romero has had a lot less rounds in 96 versus the 161 rounds that Teofimo Lopez has had. Jerry Leonard Jr. is now going to give the intros. The main events now. Romero was singing in his dressing room. It just popped up on my phone. I think that's kind of interesting. Alright, we are heading into the main event, and Teofimo Lopez is obviously coming out first. Very cool. He's brought his children, not his children, but he's brought some children out. Obviously, I assume from his gym as well. And they're just shadow boxing whilst he's obviously going to make his way walking through them. And he's putting the spotlight on the children there, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, very, very cool moment for the kids. If you're watching, appreciate it. If you just tuned in, we are getting ready for that main event feeling where I am swaying towards Romero, and I'm curious to know your thoughts just before this happens. Popped up on my phone, it's up everywhere. This is the fight everyone's talking about. It is the big one. Teofimo Lopez is coming out now. Interesting for the main event. Let's see what's happening. It was a clean loss, but I don't think it's game changer for Teofimo Lopez. I believe he can still come back and show his minerals, as it were. That's insane to say that out loud in public. I think that's something you should take separate. The champ is coming out to the ring, Rolly Romero. The champ is on his way out. It is now 4:45 a.m. in UK time if you're watching from the UK, which obviously where I'm streaming from. So I thank you for tuning in at this crazy hour, as we've had no sleep tonight. Essentially, we've gone from a matchroom stream, took a bit of a break so I could recalibrate and get this stream right for you, and we're going straight back into another stream. If you're following me on TikTok, which I appreciate if you're on here, YouTube, you've got the Taylor tape up on your screen right now. To run through the Taylor tape one more time for you, the last time before the main event kicks off. The age difference is only 1 year in it, nothing in it at all, very minuscule. So you've got age difference of 30 years old for Rolly Romero. Teofimo Lopez is 29. Their record is where it gets a little bit more interesting. 17-2 for Rolly Romero with 13 knockouts, and 22-2 with 13 knockouts for Teofimo Lopez, which shows they've only taken 2 losses, but they both have the same amount of knockouts. Next, the height, 5'8" for Rolly Romero, 5'9" for Teofimo Lopez. The weight, there's absolutely nothing in it, all of 0.4 pounds. They're both orthodox fighters, and they debuted in the same year in 2016. So I hope those facts and the Taylor tape helps you. We are waiting now for the announcement. Apologies, I had to cover my mouth tonight. I'm absolutely shattered, as I've been streaming for almost 8 hours. But we're getting ready for the main event. I will probably be coming off before the main the interviews even go into the ring. And I'm hoping someone does get knocked out, I'm not going to lie to you. Whoops, I just knocked my camera. I think I did slightly. Yikes. There you go, people. We have been streaming non-stop today. You got the graphics on the screen. There's still a lot of seats that are quite empty though, to be fair. It's filled out a lot more though. But there's still quite a few seats that are relatively empty. We are turning off the main light. We are getting ready for the main event now. So again, look, if you're locked in, please be locked in. This is the perfect time to make sure you're subscribed to the zone. And that is the only way you're going to watch this fight, unless you get a stream, which I'm happy for someone to drop in the chat. But the fighters are being called out right now. Appreciate you joining the stream. Teofimo Lopez has just been called out into the ring. Called out in the ring, sorry. Romero seems like it's got a lot more support. representing his hometown of Las Vegas. Very similar record for both men. Appreciate you joining if you're on TikTok. Appreciate you joining if you are here on YouTube. Romero. Who do I have winning this fight? I'm still swaying towards Romero. Alright, the instructions will be read. Alright, the friendship is now out the window. These two men know each other very, very well, I must add. And let me get this started as we'll be going to the in-ring format for the WBA welterweight world title. Romero, Teofimo Lopez. We are in round number 1, and if you are on YouTube, you are getting that graphic right now as I'm talking to you, which says round 1 of 12, and we are ready now. Round 1's kicked off. Here we go. Teofimo Lopez looks very fast off the gate, flying fast almost. And he seems to be Teofimo Lopez battering away that left hand, the left lead hand for Romero. Both men fighting orthodox. Romero is looking quite sharp himself. Appreciate the people joining on the old TikTok. Appreciate you. Main event is just kicked off right now, so again, if you're here, thank you. Same as YouTube. Oh, Teofimo Lopez just got caught there with a straight right hand over the top of his guard. Very cagey first opening round. Both men are in the center of the ring, throwing a lot of feints here. Romero went to the body and Teofimo Lopez went to the top, and they both just missed each other. So yeah, it's clear to see this could be a cagey affair for the first couple of rounds. You can hear Rolly, the crowd is really in favor of Romero right now. But so far, no one's landed. Again, the consequential blow would probably be the accurate assessment. They're both throwing a lot of feints, a lot of jabs. Ugh. Sorry, tiredness is kicking in then. Apologies. Both men at the moment seem to be searching for just jostling for that key shot. Romero was very quick off the mark there with a jab and then caught him with a hook. Teofimo Lopez just landed there with a left hook of his own. Appreciate people joining. It's the main event time. Teofimo Lopez is looking very powerful off the gate. Very cagey first round. You can score this one either way, to be honest with you. You might give it to Teofimo Lopez based on activity. Good first round. Good first round. Oh, gosh. Rolly's being told to listen to him by his coach at the moment. They're probably talking about him just having to force the issue, which he doesn't need to do, and he shouldn't need to do either. Been streaming for an hour and 20 minutes, so again, if you've joined and you're still locked in, I appreciate it. Oh, these yawns are really kicking in now. Been streaming non-stop, probably for about 8 hours straight at the moment. But I appreciate the people that are joining and checking in. What the hell? I've never seen that setting before. Yes, continue watching. Back to live. I've never seen it in my life. That was weird. I think it's because I've been streaming for that long. My TV even said, hold up. But yeah, we just 2 minutes. Oops. I don't want to slack off whilst I'm doing this. So we are in the second round. So if you're watching me on YouTube right now, you will see an updated graphic which will tell you we are second round into this fight. Teofimo Lopez Rolly Romero versus Teofimo Lopez. It is for the WBA welterweight world title, so it's a bit massive title on the line. And will Rolly Romero defend this title, or will it be stripped away from him? We will be waiting to find out. So far, again, it's a very cagey affair. Rolly's landed that jab. He's finally searching to go himself. Teofimo Lopez landed some very good shots then. Very interesting fight as of yet. Oops. Second round, I would say Teofimo Lopez is probably getting the better of Rolly Romero at the moment. It's frustrating him a bit more. Yeah, I think Lopez having a decent bit of success at the moment. Let me update the round now, going into round 3 of 12. Yeah, probably 2 rounds are good for Teofimo Lopez at the moment. Just listen to the corner advice right now for Teofimo Lopez. He's got a bit of a cough, so I don't know if he's maybe dealing with something. Appreciate the people that are joining, even though it is very, very late, especially for me, based in the UK. You can probably tell by the red eyes, it's 5 a.m. But round 3, we're heading into, I'd say it's 2 rounds to the good for Teofimo Lopez at the moment. Who's just getting off quicker off the mark and landing the more effective shots at the moment, to be honest with you. Well, he's on. Look, he has a good performance tonight. He goes back on that gravy train. He can prove he is a Hall of Famer. At the moment, my prediction will definitely be wrong, because Teofimo Lopez is like he's just hawking him down at the moment, and he's just being clinical and landing not the cleaner shots per se, just the more accurate shots at the moment. I still think the work from either man could be a lot cleaner, but nevertheless, the shots are landing. So I've gone quiet because I'm actually just trying to take in the action so I can give you accurate assessment of what's going on here. Teofimo Lopez seems to be controlling the center of the ring. He is basically walking Rolly Romero down at this point. Rolly Romero seems to be biting a lot of the feints and really moving off the back of them, which isn't really good because it just means that he's feeling a little bit unsettled and he can't really tell what is and what isn't coming his way. But it's good for Lopez because these feints are really what's going to help him assert his position in the ring. And he's landed with the jabs, to be fair, it's not just feints. As Teofimo Lopez lunges forward and actually catches him with a jab. And then Rolly Romero did actually lunge forward himself and land a hook. Nothing too powerful, but he did land a hook. At the moment, it is the fight that you don't necessarily want to see. Ooh. And we will be heading into the fourth round as the bell's about to go any second now, as Rolly Romero is kind of just running around the ring. And I'll be honest with you, this has been pretty much cruise control for Teofimo Lopez at this point. It has been cruise control. Interesting performance so far. I think Teofimo Lopez is definitely winning this fight. It's not been the most exciting fight, but he is just frustrating Rolly Romero, who can't seem to even get started, really. Lands a few shots here and there, but again, he's not really getting started too much. But Teofimo Lopez, I imagine, will be told just carry on the same. Why change what isn't broken, you know? Yeah, Teofimo Lopez is definitely pushing the pace of this fight. He is coming out the gate strong. Instantly, as soon as the bell rings, he is taking the center of the ring. He's walking Rolly Romero down, who is looking for a left hook to try and catch him off guard. But at the moment, Teofimo Lopez is wise to it and throwing jabs of his own and feints of his own, which seem to be catching Rolly Romero out. Those feints seem to be the difference maker at the moment as we are into round 4 of this fight. Appreciate people that are joining the stream. I am just giving you some commentary here as Rolly Romero seems like he's just on the back foot at the moment and he can't quite get his feet off to get him into a pole position right now. Landed a good shot there, Rolly Romero. Landed a straight right over the top. The broadcast sounds very robotic at the moment if you're watching. Yeah, we're back. We're back. This could easily be a 12-round fight, and I don't really want it to be a 12-round fight just due to how tired I genuinely am right now. and I feel like it would be a kind of a subdued fight compared to what we're anticipating happening. But again, do you discredit Teofimo Lopez for how good he is at making this a shout-out performance, or do you just say Rolly Romero wasn't good enough to make it competitive? You know, those are the questions that will be asked at the end of the fight, should it continue like this. Rolly Romero now is actually throwing some shots, and he's throwing that left hook a lot more now. So maybe he was just waiting for the right time to actually activate that left hook, but it seems to be landing a lot more now, Rolly Romero. 40 seconds left in this round, and that will be going out of round 4 into round 5. Oh, great left hook by Rolly Romero, and that really caught Teofimo Lopez. That stiffened his legs quite a bit. It didn't actually knock him too much, but it stiffened his legs. Very good shot there by Teofimo Lopez. Honestly, it really stiffened up Rolly Romero's legs. And so far, we are heading into round number 5. So let me update the chat. Again, appreciate anyone that is tuning in at the moment. For me in London right now, it is 5:06, so it's the crack of dawn essentially. We've been streaming all night, but I wouldn't have it any other way to keep you guys entertained with some commentary. And so far, I would have Teofimo Lopez up on the scorecards. Whoops, sorry, apologies. Teofimo Lopez would be up on the scorecard to me at the moment, but he did receive a very stiff shot that did catch him off guard. A great left hook by Rolly Romero. Check hook, but for some reason he didn't actually go and capitalize on it. And we are heading into the 5th round now. But what you don't want is rounds to go away from you. Like, I think these rounds now where the pace is slightly slower, where Teofimo Lopez is maybe getting clipped and Rolly Romero isn't throwing enough and he's looking for certain shots, you can easily let the rounds go away from you from either man. If you're up on the scorecards, as Teofimo Lopez definitely must be up by now, the problem is he puts his foot off the gas, he starts losing some key rounds, and before long he's now in a situation where the tide is changing. Or you look at Rolly Romero, who, again, very similarly, if he's now only starting to come into himself now, how long or how late is too late before you don't have enough time to make up for the performance you're putting in at the moment. But there's 2 minutes left now of the 5th round. And honestly, like I'm saying, the time is flying. Not much has been thrown at the moment at all. Rolly Romero's kind of walking around the ring. Teofimo Lopez is kind of trying to track him down. I'd have it 3-1 to Teofimo Lopez at this point in time in the 5th round. So I think it's a very similar scored round. And I just realised something. I've got something interesting for the YouTube team at the end of this round, actually. So I think I gave round 3 to Rolly Romero. Oh, Rolly Romero, that left hook busted open Teofimo Lopez's eye. Brilliant left hook. And obviously the crowd are really into this now because the crowd are on the side of the home fighter. The home fighter being Rolly Romero. So they'll be on his side. Oh, brilliant right hook by Rolly Romero. Completely wobbled Teofimo Lopez. And he's on shaky ground at the moment. Great punches thrown. Right hook, left hook. He kind of pushed down Teofimo Lopez, who didn't... Is it a count? It's not a count. But it's so loud in the T-Mobile Arena right now because Rolly Romero landed a beautiful left hook and then a right hook. And honestly, Teofimo Lopez can barely get his feet beneath him right now as Rolly Romero is looking to retain his title. But right now, Teofimo Lopez's eye is completely busted up. It's not looking good. I imagine the doctor will probably have a look at this, provided it goes on again. Lopez is saying he's not hurt, but Rolly Romero now is landing just with absolute vim. And this, oh, this has been brilliant to see. They're both talking to each other. They're trash talking, in fact. We're around 6 of 12. And I will give you... Oh, they've bottled me. So if you want to know, for some reason it's not coming up correctly, but my scorecard at the moment would be 2 rounds to Rolly Romero at the moment. You can just see the scorecard there. Obviously rounds 1 to 10. I'll have 2 rounds for Rolly Romero as it stands right now. And we flick back to our main screen, which is obviously the fight names themselves. And this fight's definitely picked up and it's spiced up now. They've done a very good job at cleaning and kind of sustaining that cut and closing up a little bit. But you can only imagine that will open up back on Teofimo Lopez's right eye if he keeps getting caught with a left hook. But the crowd is screaming Rolly, Rolly, Rolly. They're at fever pitch. Despite not even being full capacity, you can really hear the amount of people that are backing him here. Round 6, and Teofimo Lopez is really pushing the pace for this round 6. But he just got caught then with a left hook again. And I think those are the shots he's got to worry about. The ones where he's walking into the left hook and getting caught by Rolly Romero. That check hook is a dangerous hook. Apologies for the yawning. I am so tired. I've been streaming for 8 hours. Matchroom card I did, and I had no sleep and went straight into this card. So bear with me. We're getting through it, but I am tired. Rolly Romero's open up the eye again for Teofimo Lopez, and I think again, look, the doctor will only have a look at it a little bit more if that becomes a factor. 6 rounds in, we are halfway through the fight. Interesting. I had Rolly Romero winning this fight as well. The issue will be that blood. The blood on Teofimo Lopez's face now and from his right eye could potentially become an issue if that goes into his eye and ends up closing up or distracting him. Romero very smart. Did have him hurt in the 5th round. He's not necessarily took his foot off the gas, but he's just not going in and getting too aggressive and too over eager and overzealous and getting caught. And we look like we're heading into round 7, and this could actually be a long, drawn-out occasion on a late Sunday, early Sunday morning, late Saturday night, if you want to call it that. And we are heading into round 7 of 12 for the WBA welterweight world title, which is currently attached to Rolly Romero. And we have Cruz versus Bravo coming up on September 19th. I won't probably be covering that stream, but you will definitely have more streams from me going forward, tomorrow included. I would like to know what Rolly's team's telling him at the moment. They're saying get behind your jab, I think, is what they're trying to tell him. Round 7 of 12. 5 more rounds to go. Oh, gosh. Been a good night of boxing. I find it interesting that Rolly takes his foot off the gas and doesn't become the aggressor, given the amount of damage and hurt he inflicted on Teofimo Lopez in round 5. If you're watching the stream, I hope you are enjoying what you're seeing. If you're watching either stream that's I'm referring to there, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll be having a full experience, of course, of the live counter in terms of the round. If you're watching on TikTok, you will just have the experience of me discussing the fight with you. And at the moment, Romero does still look very focused, but he's absorbing some shots there on his, well, I suppose behind his back slightly. Oh, great left hook and straight right hand down the pipe there for Romero. Caught Teofimo Lopez lacking as he was coming in. And I think those are the shots he's looking for. He's looking for those good, clean shots to the chin. Landed another great left hook and then landed a jab. And I think Romero now has cut that eye open once more. And that will definitely be a factor, I'm telling you, in this fight, where the ref looks here and decides whether he's going to stop it or not. So those are my takes and assessments on that fight at the moment. Romero, I'd say almost comfortable cruise control to a degree. Don't know what the chat are thinking. Be good to get some thoughts on the chat, especially on YouTube. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? How are you feeling this fight's going? If you're watching, or if you're just listening to me commentate again, how do you think the fights are going? Great exchange now. Romero is riling up his crowd, his Vegas support. 40 seconds left. Yes, Henry. I would agree with that. I would say for me personally, the score I'd say is 4-2 to Rolly. No, sorry. 4-2 to Lopez. I'd say 4-2 to Lopez. I think Rolly's only just come into the fight now, the other way around. So 4-2 to Lopez, but Rolly's definitely having much more success and joy this round and the later half of the fight. He's landed some great left hooks. He keeps reopening that cut that is on Teofimo Lopez's right eye right now. And he landed a brilliant left hook right on the button at the end of the round, going into round 8. So I would have it at the moment now. I've got it 4-3, and I think it's getting a lot closer towards the end of these rounds. So let me just update that now on your screen. You can see it's going into round number 8 on your screen. So if you are watching me on TikTok, trust me, my YouTube, it is looking a lot better on the YouTube. But I appreciate people joining on TikTok regardless. And I've got it as it stands 4-3 to Teofimo Lopez, because Romero is landing cleanly now as we get into the latter stages of the rounds. But a very good fight nevertheless. It's definitely living up to the hype that it had around it. But those are my thoughts, Henry. If you've got it 4-2 to Rolly, I can see why. But I would say at the moment 4-3 to Teofimo Lopez. Start of the round seem to always start the same as well, which I've noticed is quite interesting for these guys. So the start of the round, Teofimo Lopez is always on the front foot. He's coming forward. He's trying to attack. He's trying to be the aggressor, and he's pressing on and he's jumping basically all over Romero to a degree. However, a key trait that we noticed was going to happen, and we knew this was always going to be a thing that Romero would do, is lead with a left hook and look for that shot time and time again, which has been landing on the button, on the money, along with his straight right hand and a very snappy jab. So Oh, that was a very good shot by Teofimo Lopez. Great left hook. Caught Lopez, caught Romero clean there and almost made his legs buckle a little bit. But now, Romero now is hawking him down, as it were. And they're both back in the centre of the ring, just feinting. Loads of feints in this fight. I think this fight's been a lot more tactical than people expected. We expected explosion, but it has been a tactical masterclass in some aspects. But the good thing is there's a cut on Teofimo Lopez's right eye. It's not fully exposed just yet, so I don't think it's too much of a factor. And I appreciate the people that are joining on TikTok as well. Thank you so much for joining. As we are 8 rounds into a 12-round fight. You can't see the graphic on your screen, but on YouTube you can obviously see the graphic that says 8 rounds in. A minute and 10 seconds left. This round's been a little bit slower. Well, the judges are quite confident that Teofimo Lopez could bore his way to a win. I don't think it is that simple, and I don't think Romero would allow him to be that simple. I don't think he'd have it on cruise control like that. Although Lopez landed a great counterpunch just now. Impeccable shots that are being landed. Last 30 seconds of the 8th round. And this round for me is definitely going to Teofimo Lopez's favour. So I think I gave Romero 3 rounds. But we are heading into the 9th round. I give him 2. I might give him 2 rounds actually. I might be slightly wrong with that maths. I might give him 2 rounds. Well, Andy Ruiz is fighting on the 4th of September, which will be good for him. But before that, the fight we are all looking forward to is Moses Tama versus Filip Hrgović. As we know, the IBF title is on the line, which is a vacant title because Usyk vacated his belts. Frank Sanchez, we all assumed would be the next in line or the next person fighting for that. He did take some step aside money, which basically means he'll step aside for Moses Tama to fight for this belt. If Moses or Hrgović wins, the winner has to defend their title in their first title defense against Frank Sanchez. So that's also something to keep in mind now as well. Appreciate the people that are joining on TikTok still and the people that are on YouTube. So thank you both. Be good to know what your thoughts are on the fight. I think this fight's been very, very close for me anyway. But the fight is equally getting away from Romero the longer he keeps his foot off the gas as we are into the 9th. Oops. We're going into the 9th round. We're into the 9th round now, which I've updated now on my YouTube. Kind of similar. I'd have it 75-77 though, myself personally. I think it was a little bit closer than that with 1 round. But I can understand why they've got it this way anyway. A lot of bruising and redness on the body of Rolly Romero, down his left body. And he's dabbing his face a lot, so I don't know if there's a bruising or something in his eye. And Teofimo Lopez's eye looks completely closed up and secured at this moment in time. Gosh. Been a lot of tiredness getting this one over the line. Yeah, Rolly Romero, for him to be and maintain championship, I'm saying he's getting close to needing a stoppage. I think if he was to win these next couple of rounds, he could potentially give an argument on the judges' scorecards that there wasn't enough done by Teofimo Lopez. But as it stands now, he will probably be losing his title and they will be going straight home with Teofimo Lopez. A minute and 18 seconds left of that round number 9. Like I said, it is 5:24 if you're watching from the UK. If you're watching from the US, it's probably a normal time. But you know that AM time means I have been streaming all night. So I appreciate all the support, the likes, comments, engagement, the shares. It means a lot because it keeps people watching these shows and these streams. Oops. If you wonder what this is just a Q jump band that I got for the weekend event that I've been at. 30 seconds left in the ninth round. I'm not yawning because I'm bored. I'm yawning because I'm tired. Appreciate the likes though. What do people think of this fight so far? If you want to put that in the chat, let me know. What are your thoughts on the fight? Who do you have winning? Who do you want to win the fight? As we go into the 10th round, what are your thoughts? As you can see on your screen, if you're on YouTube, follow me. There is round 10 that's been updated. For me, I do have Teofimo Lopez up on the scorecards. I think Romero does need a stoppage. I wonder how much urgency the team are going to put into him. Last 6 minutes of the fight, and these 6 minutes can be so important. Lopez back ahead now, 5-4, close fight. I agree, very close fight. I do have Lopez ahead though. I have him ahead by 2, to be honest with you. Yeah, I've got him ahead by 2. But I definitely agree it's a close contest at the moment. Oh, I've been on this chair for so long, I'm getting uncomfortable. I think it can help when your coach can be a bit funny like that. Malay Scott must have it, Teofimo Lopez. My TikTok people, not long left at all. Well, at the moment, this fight's not really had anything. There's been a lot of feints, been a lot of missed punches. Teofimo Lopez again on the front foot. Romero hasn't done nothing but kind of lean on the ropes. Again, it's been a very similar fight to what we've seen before for the last couple of rounds. They did manage to punch their way out of a clinch. But yes, 3 division world champion probably on wave the last 90 seconds remaining of the 10th round. Nah, surely not. I appreciate... Who is this? Alright, Teofimo landed a solid right hand on Rolly Romero just then, and he's got Rolly Romero backed up into the corner, who is going for the clinch. This isn't looking too good for him. I believe Rolly Romero is slightly hurt there. Took a shot and backed up into the corner, but we have 30 seconds remaining. And it looks like we might be actually getting round number 11, which again isn't really what you want to see from these fights. These are the fights you do want to see a stoppage. Obviously the safety of the fighter is paramount importance, but you do want to see a stoppage. Oh, Teofimo Lopez just avoided a right cross, stepped back, pull countered, and landed a beautiful shot over the top. Phenomenal shot. Alright, TikTok team, what I'm going to plan to do actually, I'm actually going to jump off this stream for TikTok and just stay strictly on YouTube just because it's the last. Actually, no, there's only a couple rounds left. Never mind, we'll do both. Never mind. Let's have some water and I'll be getting ready for bed. Alright, let's see what happens. Last two rounds, Romero really, whoops. That's just for my YouTube community. It's updated now, round 11 of 12 for the WBA welterweight world title, and it could be slipping away out of Romero's grasp. Sorry. 2.5 minutes remaining in this round, and there hasn't even been a single knockdown at all. We've had close, but we haven't had a knockdown. Romero is looking for that perfect punch at the moment. He's looking for that left hook, but he just seems like a step slow. He might land it on occasion, but he's definitely a step slow this match. Yeah, Teofimo Lopez, I'd agree with that scorecard now. I think I probably had Rolly Romero having one more extra round, but at the overall grand scheme of things, Roy needs a KO. Thank you. Do you know what it is? I'll be honest with you, I'm so tired, but I'm hanging on because I was streaming the Matchroom fight hours ago, so I'm hanging on, but I appreciate it. Rolly definitely needs a knockout though, for sure. People got who's winning, and they've got percentages on a fan zone. 76% of people think Teofimo Lopez. 24% of people think that Rolly Romero is winning. I find it very hard to see how they believe Rolly Romero is winning and anything close, to be fair. To 20% is still a bit high for me, unless you really are a big fan of him. Because at the moment, what's happening is Rolly Romero is just being walked down. I just want to know what he's thinking at this point in time. Like, what is Rolly Romero thinking? Is he thinking to himself, I'm doing well? Is his team saying to him, you're doing well? You know, he's took a couple rounds off, it seems, unless he's got a knock or an injury or something. But Teofimo Lopez is just landing some serious shots. I see. If you're watching the fight, I see exactly what Rolly Romero is trying to do. He's trying to load up on that left hook, and he swung it 3 times and missed it 3 times. So he's exclusively looking for that left hook now, and he's kind of thrown out the rest of his fundamentals, which are the jab, trying to lead with the jab and trying to establish distance. He's just going for the left hook, which he actually landed. He landed a very good left hook then as Teofimo Lopez was coming in, and it looked like it rocked him, but it didn't. Wow. Okay, that was an interesting end to the 11th round as we go into the 12th and final round. So, in my opinion, and I think in everyone else's opinion, there needs to be a knockout for Rolly Romero to win. You said it yourself, Henry. It's got to be a knockout. The only way it's going to happen. For the people on TikTok, there has to be a knockout for Rolly Romero to win. Surely. He's looking for it, but he's almost exclusively looking for it. So unless Teofimo Lopez slips up, in my opinion, and walks into a sublime left hook shot, I can see him taking that WBA welterweight world title away from Rolly Romero. And I actually had Rolly Romero winning this fight, so yeah, bit disappointing. Touch gloves, a hug come in, some little talks, and let's see. 12th and final round. We've all made it to 12 rounds, people. Last 3 minutes is counting down. Let's see what happens now. Edge of my seat stuff. Edge of the seat stuff at the moment. Yes, I'm just wondering what Rolly Romero is thinking by just trying to utilize the whole of the ring. Like the commentator's saying, like, he's essentially walking around. Yeah, perfect way to describe it. He's fighting not to win, but not to lose. And it's a very awkward way, man. It's quite sad because Rolling Road surely is better than what he's displaying today. Not discrediting Teofimo Lopez, by the way. He's just been performing as he should be, but I feel like Rolling Road has more in the tank than what he's letting off, and he's just not letting his hands go. You know, he's exclusively looking for the left hook. He's got a minute and 45 seconds left. Not long enough, in my opinion, for what he's looking for. If I was TR, I'd probably keep him on the outside, jab him a bit more, and try and just secure the dub at this point. 90 seconds left, people. Oh, Rolly, man. Good left hook there by Rolly Romero. Oh, Teofimo Lopez. Nice free punch combination. Good free punch combination. I think the commentators need to realise he hasn't needed to land them highlight power shots. He's been doing what he needs to do and keeping Rolly Romero on the back foot pretty much the whole fight, which he's been doing now. Landing a solid punch to the body again. You know, it's kind of landing at will, which is quite sad to see. I wanted this fight to be a lot closer than it was. 30 seconds remaining, so unless a miracle happens, I believe, and I'm sure everyone in the stadium believes, Rolly Romero will be losing his title and will be slipping away from his grasp, and the new champion will be Teofimo Lopez should it continue. Last 10 seconds. Again, thanks everyone for being tuning in for the streams for tonight. But I think Teofimo Lopez has done it. Good fight in the end. I think Rolly Romero definitely did hold. I don't know if he held back or he was just outclassed. You know, it's hard. I believe he was outclassed, to be honest with you. They embrace, big hug, lot of talking now. Beautiful to see. And Rolly Romero just winked at Teofimo Lopez. So I think he knows in himself it's done. I think, yeah, I'd give Rolly Romero probably 2 to 3 rounds at tops. But I've been wrong when it comes to judging, despite the decisions I've made being right. So let's see. It's definitely a takeover. I'm going to be honest though, people, on the stream, I am way too tired to listen to the whole DAZN stuff and the interview. I just want to see the winner, declare the winner. Thank whoever's been watching at this time, because it's madness. And then call it a night. That's exactly what I want to do. Just taking off the gloves now. Obviously the scores are being counted. Moses Tama versus Filip Hrgovic is your next boxing stream from me, so make sure you're tuned in there. I will be live at the venue, so I'll probably get some streams done, maybe going to the venue, being at the venue, So I'll keep you guys informed if you follow me on my social media channels, which is going to be Watchalong on every single platform. Instagram is my most used platform, so you will be able to see exactly the updates, when and where, what's going on. But we'll wait for the official verdict for this fight. Let's see. Here we go. Majority decision. That's wild to me. 114 to 114 a draw. Teofimo Lopez with the win. Romero looks a little bit stunned, which I'm surprised about. But the new WBA welterweight world champion is Teofimo Lopez. For me, that's unanimous decision. I thought he was just completely outclassed Romero. But I don't think that judges' scorecards have been great. I think, in my opinion, it was unanimous decision win. However, look, he got the win, and that's the right man won at the end of the day. Let me not complain. Look, like I said, I'm knackered. I appreciate the support on the stream. It's been back-to-back streaming tonight, so I'm shattered. But I'll be catching people. I'm doing daily streams anyway. But if you just want predominantly a boxing stream from me, or a football stream, Arsenal playing soon, just saying. And if it's a boxing stream you're after, next Saturday I'll be catching you for Moses Talma, Filip Hrgovic. Again, thank you all. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the engagement. As I always say, always aspire to inspire. That's the plan with the channel, to grow it and inspire other people to do the same. So yeah, I'll catch everyone soon. Let me end the TikTok one now. TikTok people, I'll catch you in a bit. And for the YouTube one, I believe it's just you, Henry. So I appreciate your support, and I will catch you. That's the only person I can see, by the way. If there's anyone else, I apologize. But I'll catch you soon, people. So yeah, thank you again, and I'll catch you at the next